I just not even gonna fucking.
You're good to go now. I hate you. Speak.
Oh, now. Okay.
Now.
You say now. You gotta do now. Anyway. Off to a great start. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, everyone who's actually prepared, to episode 32 of No Bucks Given, right here on the Horny Goat YouTube channel, the Horny Goat Podcasting Network, where you can listen to us on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Everyone's fucking this is gonna go really downhill very quickly. We're off to about as good as a run-in and Samoa Joe on SmackDown.
You know it's gonna be fucked up when I'm gonna be the most sober person on this call.
Yeah, right? Seriously.
You already are the only sober person.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Save
God.
me.
Welcome one and all to the roundtable discussion where we talk about everything and anything we want to in the new world of news, entertainment, and basically whatever the fuck tickles our fancy. And boy, do our fancies need tickling. Of course, you guys know me. I am... I was trying to think of a fucking funny name, but I can't because I'm too drunk right now. Yeah, I'm a little... I'm not sober at the moment. Of course, we got the wonderful members of the Horny Goat crew here with us. I got the power couple, JP and Heather. How you guys doing this evening?
We're doing well. We got back from our camping trip. That was an adventure in itself. We didn't sleep in tents or anything, but
would you sleep?
In my sister's camper.
Oh man,
our pull-out couch. It was actually pretty fucking comfortable.
That's fucking incredible. Sleeping in tents sucks fucking ass, man. I'm sorry, but I'm over that.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone's favorite bear from upstairs, Canadian Basement. What up, Basement?
What up, bitch?
What an intro. Of course, I know. But of course, we appreciate all you guys coming in here in the chat, joining us live. We got Alpha, we got Federico, and Jurgen with us. But how you guys' week's been? I know it's been pretty much almost an entire week since we've done anything on the channel, except for GM.
You see, I finally got that flag up. You see?
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to give you a quick history lesson, okay? I'm just going to give you, my dad gave this flag to me, just recently passed away. These are all the units that were in Vietnam. His unit patch is was up here, wasn't it? Oh, it's right here.
Yeah.
And it says shit happens on it. My dad was in Vietnam, so this is a map of Vietnam. He every single one, and I'll get a closer up picture of it. But these are all the places that he was at. He started in the Iron Triangle. So this right over here with three soldiers standing there, that's Thailand, which is right next to Vietnam.
I mean, we weren't doing good with the U.S. map, but I mean, I do appreciate that is nice, though, to see that.
It's not his fault. He forgot that New York kind of borders Canada. So
yeah, that's the only reason.
Except for Basement here, none of us are in a purely sober state, so I mean, I can't really fault.
Well, no, okay, never mind. I'm just gonna go to bed.
On the stream?
Mentally.
But yeah, we haven't really done a whole lot. In the week, in the past week, other than GMO last night, which that was interesting because both Basement and I were also drinking that evening. I'm sensing a pattern here.
What's the pattern?
What?
I mean, you know my pattern. Male pattern baldness up in this bitch.
MPB!
You know our pattern.
Jurgen said his dad was in Vietnam as well, so connections.
Hey man, bless you.
I have my family is riddled with I make it sound like it's a bad thing. With
Army
Marines. There's a lot of Marines in my family.
I got every branch of the military in my family.
My dad, my uncle, and my grandfather were in the Marines.
My dad was in the Air Force, and he wasn't in the Air Force for very long. But the only major story I remember him telling me, or general story, was that he stayed out in Alaska for like a month and a half, and he said it was fucking boring as fuck because it was just cold, dark, and boring.
Yeah,
sounds like Canada.
It's like a smaller Canada. But how you doing, Heather? How you doing this past week?
It's been a long week, I feel like. Wendy's been up and down with tantrums and just not wanting to fucking listen as usual.
Her sleeping pattern's gotten a little bit better, but not the greatest still.
Yeah.
But other than that, other than insubordinate child.
Yeah.
Basement and I are almost done with Game of Thrones. We only got 3 seasons left to watch of it, so.
She had fun last night, just so everybody knows. She can say it was meh, but she had
fun.
She had fun. She got away. She didn't have to worry about anything. She just sat down in her chair and had that. You know how when she gets high, she gets that shit-eating grin on her face? She had that all fucking night, so she was happy.
You kind of do the same thing sometimes, JP. Although you just laugh. You just nonstop.
He's laughing. Here's the reason why.
He busts out laughing and then turns around and looks at me and what the fuck is going on? Well, shut the fuck up and you'd be able to find out.
I turn into like a statue and my mind is constantly rebooting.
About that.
We told everybody about the Doctor Strange stream.
Yes.
God.
And we told them your description of what was going on for you, and they just busted out laughing. And for those of you who don't remember Basement's reaction, his description of it was, my mind was in another world, but my face was stuck in neutral.
So it was like this.
Yeah.
No, he had his arms crossed.
I couldn't move. If I moved, it might have been the end of me.
I can't cross my arms, so this is Basement.
If I moved, it might have been the end of me. That's like,
I just think that the dial tone.
You were rocking.
That's what has to happen, or else I lose my sanity.
Don't move. If you move, you lose.
God, I die in fucking Jurassic Park. They can't see you if you don't move. It's rocking back and forth.
Basement, you okay? And you're just like, clever girl.
Oh man.
Oh god. How about you, Basement? Your week. I mean, I know we hung out last night with the GM mode.
Yeah, other than that, it's kind of good sometimes to take some time away from streaming, recharge, because like it's been a rough time for a lot of us, and fucking trying to like, I went out and I saw family, and that was good, and then I came back and stopped. Just like I was like, we could stream, or we could just hang out, or we could do nothing, get some fucking sleep. So the combination of all those things really helped, and now we're back, motherfuckers.
You sound so excited about it. Like, we're back. Yeah. No, it's good, and then we appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. And as we this one's gonna be very like just very all over the place. Not that any episode of No Bucks Given is structured or anything like that. Yeah, well, especially when the MC is already 3 drinks into. How much vodka do I have left?
All of the vodka.
I mean, it's either I'm stronger or
either I'm
liver's
stronger.
Dying. Well,
vodka man.
I love how Basement just busts a gut laughing at the phrase of me saying either I'm stronger. Don't even finish the sentence. It's just like,
and what, alcoholism?
No, lifting the bottle to see.
Oh shit! Well, I thought you were talking about drinking ability.
No, if anything, I'm a cheap date.
Oh, why?
I just pass out, stomach down, ass up. Thank God. But I guess we might as well get into the thick of it. If you guys want to follow into some of the topics that we're going to talk about, again, we're going to be all over the place. There are articles listed in the description if you guys are watching us on YouTube, where you guys can follow along with some of the discussions that we are talking about. We might as well talk about the one that was extremely out of left field about the actor Heche. She has officially passed away. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I
took
didn't want to like say.
Yeah, she was officially declared brain dead, and her family removed her from life support yesterday.
Okay,
so
I
dead.
No, today. Sorry.
So today you died.
Yes.
Then
technically, yes.
Literally died, or
literally died. Her family took her off of life support.
So apparently she crashed into a home in the Mar Vista neighborhood in Los Angeles and sparked a heavy fire, which was put out more than an hour later. The driver was pulled from the vehicle by LAFD rescuers and taken to hospital with critical injuries. Thomas Jane, ex-boyfriend, said Heche is at the time was intubated but was expected to pull through, but obviously not the case, as things obviously took a turn for the worst. LAPD spokesperson said the crash was under investigation. There was no immediate indication regarding its cause. I do know that from, outside of this article that I do believe she was under some sort of influence. They didn't say what the specifics were.
I think many influences.
So I didn't get the full gist of it. But I believe they said it was something along the lines of, let me just see if I can pull it up here. Because again,
Gina did say that they found narcotics in her bloodstream. I don't know what kind of narcotics, but I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was alcohol and some sort of other substance. I saw like some of the video footage of the crash, and like as soon as I saw it and they were like time lapsing, I'm like, there's no way she's 100% dead, because like being stuck in a car in a burning house with that much smoke, what are you breathing?
Yeah.
Well, didn't she crash into one house and then backed up and crashed into another?
She crashed into something beforehand and then crashed into a house. These houses are like long houses too. Like she drove 30 feet into a house at least.
Oh shit! I'm just pulling up the some of the footage on YouTube, and yeah, that's.
Now they do show her getting like wheeled out, and right before they put her in the ambulance, she like gets up and flails around. So she was something was going on, but then she just comaed and then she just died.
Ugh, I mean, that's a horrible way to go. I I feel bad by saying this, but I was like, what was she in?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. She's such a D-list celebrity kind of.
She wasn't. She was
celebrity for the longest time.
I'd say for 5 years she was known.
She was in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Who was she in I Know What You Did Last Summer?
I think she was just
Melissa Missy Egan. So just to kind of quickly go through a couple of movies, I'm going through her filmography right now. Just a kind of couple of quick movies that she was in. Just I think that more people would recognize. Adventures of Huck Finn in 1993. She was in I Know What You Did Last Summer, like we mentioned before. 6 Days, 7 Nights. She was in Psycho. In the 1998 version of Psycho.
The remake, which is terrible.
Superman. Oh, she voiced Lois Lane in the Superman Doomsday animated movie. That's interesting. She was in The Other Guys. That's interesting.
The Other
Those
Guys.
Are really
she was a police chief.
The big ones in.
No way. In The Other Guys, the police chief was Michael Keaton, wasn't it?
Yeah, the police chief and Other Guys was Michael Keaton. Yeah. Guys, my son's bisexual. Okay, great.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
I'm a peacock. Let me fly.
That movie was great, man.
The fucking TLC joke was one of my favorite things about that fucking movie. Guys, I don't want no scrubs. Really? Really? What? You don't know that song?
I think she was popular for 5 years, in my honest opinion, and then she like transitioned to like smaller roles, or like voice acting roles. But I haven't really seen her in the last while. You know, it's so fucked up too. Like, I mean, I don't understand what was going on in her personal life, but to end up there with like a relatively young family, she wasn't even that old, 53. The one saving grace for this, as terrible as the whole situation is that the people that lived in that house didn't get fucking bowled over by the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, obviously, it's not a great situation for her passing away, and because of this. But I hate to say it could be worse, but it could have been. There could have been more. There could have been more casualties. There could have been more more. Could have been a bigger tragedy, but at the same time, it still is sad. I think more so it's another sad thing of it. I'm not sure what exactly was going on with her. If it was like an accidental, like just
OD or
bad
chemical.
Like yeah, I don't want to like go on the line and like, oh, she was drugging and boozing or whatever.
Well, she was definitely drugging.
You don't.
You don't drive
She,
into a car into
she
a
had
house. Yeah.
alcohol in her system, and she was drugging it up. She knew what she was fucking doing.
Well,
That's even sadder to me.
I think like
Yeah.
she got to the point where she's so fucked up she got behind like you should never get behind a fucking wheel of a vehicle if you're going to be on anything or drink.
Right.
Right. I personally, I mean, this is really gonna sound horrible, but shame on her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a terrible
'Cause she-
decision. Yeah.
It's a terrible decision. I do not. I'm gonna say this. Like I understand what Connor is saying. I don't know what was going on with the personal life, but I do not feel sorry for somebody that because I used to do it, and I was one of the lucky ones. I do not drink and drive anymore. If I do,
I've done it
I'm the
before,
only
and I fucking
yeah. So
never again.
Once.
I feel guilty every time I did it because I should have gotten pulled over. There are times where I should have gotten. It happened to me once, and I can tell that story at another time. I think I've told it to you,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't feel sorry for somebody that gets behind the wheel that's intoxicated and wrecks and hurts somebody or destroys a house. It might be a damn shame that they die, and it is. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. I don't mean it horribly. I do not feel sorry for this woman. But on the other hand, I feel bad for her family.
I don't know. What
I get where you're coming from.
You never know too, like what might have like driven them to substance abuse if there is something driving them there. I mean, there's an absence in everybody's fucking life to kind of abuse certain things.
I understand all that, and we've had this discussion.
But I do agree with you. Like, yes, you
numerous times.
Do not
I
touch a
There
vehicle.
is never an excuse to get behind a wheel.
No,
when you're
fucked up.
Now, that being said, you're talking to a guy that used to do it all the fucking time.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at what you guys are talking about.
No.
I just noticed the GIF that fucking basement.
I'm surprised I found one that was so on point.
Pretty much is. I feel bad. I do feel bad for her, but I also feel bad for her family. It's just too bad she couldn't get the help she needed.
Yeah, especially this was like midday fucking. This is day fucked. So if you're day fucked, then you got
major issues going on, man. And it's always with the celebrity world that you see this shit. I mean, look at the guy who played Dusty in fucking Twister. He passed away because of a cocaine overdose, and nobody knew he had a problem with cocaine.
Well, it's because celebrities live these private lives. They don't want So this is why I hate celebrities. They don't want everybody to know what goes on with them, but they want to know what goes on with everybody else.
Well,
that is insignificant to them.
The thing is, people look at them as like the pillar of hope and like the best people alive, but they parade around like they are. Meanwhile, they're fucking shooting up and doing fucking kids in the background. They're like the worst of society half the time. And then, like,
there's some good ones out there, I'm not gonna lie.
There are, but there's a lot of shit ones too.
It's that term that I always use: one bad apple makes the bushel bad. That's the way it is.
Not wrong, but no, it is like kind of like a bitter. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, you want to. Is it tragic they passed away? Yes, but obviously these were circumstances that they had full
avoided.
You know, yeah,
Could have been avoided.
It's the same thing with Sunny, but Sunny killed somebody else instead of herself.
Sorry that and people want to be mad at me for speaking that way. I don't mean it horribly, but I'm telling you right now, anybody that feels sorry for this woman because she died, because she got behind a fucking wheel intoxicated, you also have to put in mind she put herself in that situation on purpose.
Yeah. She was probably 10 feet away from becoming a monster. In the public eye, she's about 10 feet away from becoming a monster. Like, in terms of, if she drove into a house and ran over a fucking kid and then died, people would be spitting on her fucking grave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the way society is today, yes.
I mean, in my mind, she would be a monster if she got fucking mashed up and then drove into a house and killed a family.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't care about like taking her movies away and shit like that. That means nothing to me. The fact that she like took like lives of people away that had nothing to do with her fucked up shit would be the worst.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Speaking of monsters, this might fucking horrible transition. Might as well talk about the other subject on here on the next list of topics. Apparently, Marvel, who I hate clearly, confirms 18 MCU characters will be appearing in their Marvel Zombies show that's coming out. I'm not sure exactly the time frame or the date. Rumored to probably be sometime around 2024 or 2025. So when you guys get to What If, you'll see more about this. But this spawned from the What If series. I think it's going to be the same animation style where basically it's exactly as it sounds. It's fucking Marvel dealing with a zombie apocalypse with different characters becoming zombies. So if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, this is right up to everybody's alley. But apparently they did confirm a couple of new characters or other characters will be involved in this as far as being added into for the new Marvel zombie series, which, by the way, I did hear is going to be TVMA. So it is going to be a mature rated one, which I'm all fucking for if it's done right. It looks like they're going to include a lot of the newer characters. So we're going to see like Yelena from Black Widow, Kate Bishop from Hawkeye, Jimmy Woo, characters from Shang-Chi, Miss Marvel, the Red Guardian, who we see in Black Panther, in Black Widow. The booze. Scarlet Witch, Ghost, Hawkeye, Okoye from the Dora Milaje, Abomination, Captain Marvel, and even different day cut in half version of Captain America.
It was already off.
The zombie idea for
I'm so confused by what this actually is.
It's just a fun spin-off series that doesn't really mean anything. You'll see more when you get to the What If episode. There's a What If episode from season 1 where it's like, what if the zombie apocalypse happened, and shows like a couple of the Marvel characters.
Like, I found this GIF, and it's Tony Stark as a zombie.
Yep.
So what if Tony Stark was a zombie? Then he'd just be a regular fucking person zombie.
So not every Marvel character in the What If episode of the zombie ones is a zombie. Some manage to escape it. Basically, I believe
half of them just be regular fucking people that are zombies.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, but some of them keep their powers. So it's interesting because it's like they're not mindless to the point where like they're just like, they don't know how to do shit. So like, for example, spoilers, I believe Doctor Strange is a zombie and he knows how to use the magic. Not like in actually kind of like in Multiverse of Madness.
That makes no sense whatsoever. It's like I still know how to use my powers, but I don't know how to differentiate anything else in this world.
Correct.
What? Okay, well,
listen, this is one of those Marvel projects where I'm just like just gonna shut this off for a second.
You know me, I can't shut it off.
I didn't say it was the
dead. They should all be dead in 5 minutes. Oh wait, they're already dead.
Yes, you're gonna be your favorite series. So it's live action, right? It's live action.
No,
animation.
It's animation.
Never mind then. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's just gonna be a fun little spin-off series. So I mean,
it's a throwaway.
I actually wish they would have done animation. I mean, I get
they are. They did.
We've talked about this. We talked about this last week. The DC Comics. I personally like the cartoon aspect of superhero movies because that's how I can relate to them. I understand it's 2022.
I mean, there's some cutting edge animation out there that looks fucking incredible that I'd love to see.
Yeah, but sometimes those animations where it's actually back to the old school are pretty fucking good.
I agree.
And you know what? Animation, for being animation, can still hold a lot of like emotion as well.
People look what our kid does.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, that's one example. There's several out there of like animation being as strong or as hard hitting as live action, and sometimes you're able to do things you can't, and it looks fine because it's animation.
Well, it's
Yeah,
funny because Marvel's coming out with a shit ton of animated stuff. In fact, they're coming out with 4, if I'm not mistaken. We have the Marvel Zombies, which is going to have the same like 3D-esque animation that is going to be like in What If when we see that next. We talk about on the roundtable. They're going to be doing X-Men 97, which is a continuation off of the original X-Men, or at least it looks like it's going to be a continuation animation style. Spider-Man Freshman Year looks like an old school like 60s. Like, did you guys ever see Batman Brave and the Bold?
I've seen the original Spider-Man.
Have you ever
The
seen
movie
Archie?
back in the 70s, 80s. Remember, I think like maybe
the animated movie.
not an animated. It was actually a live action movie, but
Well, no, this is going to be animated. The Spider-Man Freshman Year.
I understand that. I
Yeah,
get that.
it's gonna have like a 50s, 60s look to it as far as like the animation and the style, which looks really, really cool. I don't know why the fuck I just did that. It's the booze. And then I think those are the big 3: X-Men, Spider-Man, What If. But my point is that there's a lot of old school animation stuff that seems to be like coming through the masses in terms of like visually looking like fantastic. One thing I tout with the kids is they watch a lot of the newer Mickey Mouse cartoons, which are fucking hilarious, but they have old school animation style to it. And it's just something about like the way that it works in tandem with that. It just looks fucking, it just makes it look so much better.
There's just something you can never really capture live action that you can capture with animated, like the accentuated movements, the line work and things like that in animation can completely create a style of its own, where live action is always kind of stuck in live action. And the times when it is stylized, it's like if you've seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and certain things that are very like heavily stylized live action, it still doesn't hit like the animation would. It always stands a bit weird.
I think that movie that you're talking about would actually have been a good animated movie. Personally.
What, Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah,
I think it
would
was
make a lot more
right?
sense that it would have been animated.
It was an animated story that got turned into live action, and it was a video game.
Yeah. I'm just saying. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
The video game was fun as shit. It was multiplayer. Beat 'em up.
Yeah. I forgot what I was.
And it was Canadian, so that's.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Fine. All right.
You win
Now
the
we
game, you
see.
get loonies and toonies and suck my dick.
Bagged milk, motherfucker.
This is a weird. For me, Marvel, the animation stuff from Marvel doesn't excite me.
No, I get it.
I like animation. I just don't like Marvel anime. It's been done a million times over.
And not to mention, they're throwing this in while they're also trying to throw so much actual canon stuff at your face. Here's a throwaway for you too.
So I was going through, and like I said, I like Batman and all that shit.
Pray to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through it, and I was looking for something to watch because I couldn't fucking sleep. I turned on Batman or the Cape Crusaders Return, and it's got, you have to fucking watch it, man. I'm high because Batman is.
I'm drunk. How you doing?
So fucking funny in that. Like,
are we talking like Adam West style?
Like the original TV series.
Oh god.
They made that into a cartoon, and Adam West did the voice.
Yes, I know what you're talking about now. Yes, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, such a dick in that movie. But I laughed so hard watching that fucking movie. That's probably why I couldn't sleep. But those are the kind of movies that I like. If they're gonna do it, that's I like.
I mean, honestly, I'm fine with the Marvel stuff, the animated stuff, not being canon and just being its own separate thing, because then they can fucking do whatever the fuck they want.
Good God, I agree with you. Just like the What If stuff. The only What If episode I want to see is What If
they all died in the first 10 seconds.
They all died at the end. Or the
what if Iron Man actually died 5 minutes into the first movie?
It's just 5 minutes long, and all it is credits.
Credits.
Hey, come on, man.
JP, 10 out of 10.
At least they did.
It would be 10 out of 10. Like, finally.
just be a finally.
I would love if
rest
they
of
did
it.
a series where it was like the what if was basically every single time that we pinpointed this makes no sense, this person's dead, and that happened in the show.
This is another reason why I make fun of it. I really do.
I mean, we all,
Because the movies got better as they got farther along. But the thing is, and I'm not saying I'm a huge Marvel fan. I'm not saying that. But I said I would never watch these movies, and I've seen like 5 of them like 10 times.
Yeah, you
But-
can't get away from. They will suck you
can't.
off.
I mean, they suck you in, and now I'm just trying to find other things. But I usually make fun of it, but it's just me.
The thing too is with Marvel, like as soon as like Marvel Studios comes up, it's like, all right, so certain things that in a logical world I have left behind. Immediately, I have to.
Right, but if you can't make fun of yourself, why?
Especially like
I mean, there's money in making fun of yourself. You're not going to
especially-
ruin yourself by making fun of yourself.
especially with that genre. It's
exactly.
a lot of self-referential humor in Marvel, and it needs to be because like there
common
can
joke
be
of getting the
serious
names
moments.
wrong.
Yeah, there can be. I mean, there can be serious moments, and sometimes they tend to lean too heavy into stupidity, which
Yeah.
kind of ruins some of the movies. But when they do the balance right, they get it.
It's funny. I was actually thinking about this earlier. Is that the MCU is fascinating to me, and the reason that I'm gravitated towards it, and it's also the same reason I wanted to bring it to the channel, is that there's been no other franchise other than Star Wars that has really, and even Star Wars is just kind of catching up as far as quantity, not necessarily quality. As far as length, there's never been any other franchise that has done as much as the Marvel Cinematic Universe has.
Wait a second.
Now, that
Days of
what?
Our Lives.
oh, Jesus Christ, okay, I'm talking movies, but it's interesting because my big thing is, like with the round table is the same premise of, do these movies, are they good on their own versus like in a big collective? And it's kind of like a positive and a negative for it to be such like an establishment at this point. It's a positive in that, wow, cool, you're able to build off of something that's been so monumental and so successful-ish. We won't talk about certain movies, but the continuity can sometimes are they gonna trip? Are they gonna keep the path smooth? Are they gonna be able to are they gonna be able to intervene, especially with so many fucking directors and writers and hands in the pot and having to keep track of all this shit. I've been seeing so many memes on TikTok lately of like grandpa sitting me as a grandfather sitting my grandson in front of the TV for 48 days straight watching all the Marvel content to catch me. I don't do it, grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. Just to catch up to fucking everything that's going on. So that's what fascinates me more than, I mean, there's obviously other characters and stuff, but that's what really is the most fascinating thing to me about the whole Marvel stuff.
So the one question that I have, and I think well, Marvel's there, the Star Wars universe is there as well.
Star Trek is pretty close behind.
They
too.
have one guy who oversees everything, knows all the storylines, all that stuff. I think we talked a little bit about this last
That's Kevin
week.
Feige. Yep.
Yep.
Like Kevin Feige and what's his fucking
Dave Filoni.
nuts? Dave Filoni and Pablo Hidalgo, who are for Star Wars.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Those guys. Now Kathleen Kennedy, this is where it gets all fucked up.
God's gift to man.
God's gift to the fucking Star Wars universe of today. That fucking fickle cunt. But anyway, the thing with does the Marvel universe, do they let their directors have input?
I'm
Pretty
gonna
much.
say
As far as storyline wise, because I've seen Marvel kind of let their directors have a little bit of freedom with things.
I think
Does
they
that make
have stylization freedom, but when it comes to certain story beats, from everything I've seen, I do feel like they have to hit certain things because every movie has to set up another movie, has to set up another. There always has to be like an advertisement for the next future Marvel products in movies.
But
That
the thing
is
I
not
do
up to the director. I highly doubt.
Right, but
No,
what I do
Feige.
like from Marvel better than Star Wars, well, I shouldn't even say. I'm glad that things are going through Dave Filoni and Pablo Hidalgo. Dave Filoni is a director.
Mm-hmm.
He is a director. He's directed The Mandalorian. He's directed. He's there
He's
helping
Clone Wars,
with the filming. The Clone Wars. Well, he did the cartoon. Actually.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Clone Wars, the animation was his baby, and Ahsoka was his idea.
His creation. Well, what's George Lucas's idea, but it was his creation, I guess. Dave Filoni has freedom in Star Wars to create a character, and essentially, and I'm sure there's somebody at the Marvel Universe. I mean, come on, you can't not. Everything goes through him with the creation of the character, him and Pablo Hidalgo. So they tell the story, which is why Ahsoka is so, because that's it. He threw it. He didn't throw it at George Lucas. They told the story at a Comic-Con. He was telling the story of Ahsoka and how it was created, and with her, he threw the, hey, I got this idea for this. Gives us another reason as to why Anakin turned to the dark side. And they did this story with Ahsoka. And Dave Filoni is a fucking genius. Why they didn't let him do a Star Wars movie, I do not fucking know. Because this guy, he knows the storyline, and he's a good director. I think he is.
Without knowing the workings of the specifics about it, but just from hearing, because I've watched a couple of the, not all of them, but the Disney Plus has a couple of the behind the scenes of how they make certain Disney Plus shows and movies. I haven't watched them all, but I have watched a good handful of them, and the vibe and the tone that I get from it is that Feige probably gives them a lane to stick in, so they have to stay in this lane as far as certain aspects. But anything in there, they're good, right? That's my guess. Like they probably have the idea of the main character, the characters, the antagonist, the plot, what they want the resolution, what they want to come out of it, what they want to establish. So, I mean, I'm sure it's like a checklist, and as long as they hit those things in the checklist, they probably
do whatever they want after.
And this is why Marvel,
that's my guess.
And this is why the Marvel Universe, I mean, it's such an ungainly monster in terms of how much is involved in it. This is why Marvel has done a very good job in at least connecting things, and which is why I'm so fucking flabbergasted at Star Wars, owned by the same company, but one obviously has a plan, different directors involved, but they're still like Mark's hit. Where Star Wars, they didn't have a fucking plan.
We're shit. For Star Wars, though, I don't blame the directors for Star Wars.
I blame the fact that they didn't have a plan. They did not have a plan.
Did not have a plan. Kathleen Kennedy did not.
I don't even think they wanted to do a trilogy when they came out with the first one, because the first one was an homage to the original. After that, it was like, we don't know where we're going. Let's hire this fucking dipshit. And there's no guiding force.
Gareth Edwards is a really good director.
No, but I'm talking about the second Ryan, whatever the fuck his name is.
Remember
the second one? The second one is where it goes to shit.
Yes, no, I agree. I'm talking about just in general.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, the comparison between the two, to have them both under the same heading, and have one have like meticulous planning to a point that involves a much bigger idea, where the other one is a smaller idea, at least to this point. It hasn't been featured as much, with no fucking idea of what's going on from movie to movie. It was such a fucking shit show.
I'm agreeing with you. I do agree with you.
It's strange to see, though. Like, you'd think that they.
To your point, you're surprised that Dave Filoni has never done one. I'm surprised Jon Favreau has never done a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I
guess it depends on like fandom too. I know Favreau is.
The thing with it too, though, is if you look at and I'm not making this as an excuse, but if you're just looking bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
Star Wars does not have an end point, or they don't have something they're pushing towards.
They're scared. They're scared of going away from Skywalker, which fucking frustrates me to no end. They can't get away from Skywalker.
Okay, no, I'm not disagreeing with that, but that's not even really kind of where I was going with it. But okay, shout out to Paul Arzola joining us in chat too. I was more saying that they don't have, like, at least with Marvel. at least now, we know where things are going towards. Even with the Infinity Saga, to an extent, we knew where things were kind of heading towards. So even if we're like, bumps in the road or this or that, we kind of knew what the light at the end of the tunnel was. Star Wars, it could have been that new trilogy. You could have had everything kind of fickle, built to.
I don't think they're done. I don't think they're done.
Oh God, no, they're not done. They're gonna do another fucking 3 or other movies. So what they're doing is, and I think some of it's actually beneficial, is that they're not only straying away from the Skywalker stuff to an extent, but they have more freedom to branch away from the main Skywalker story and do, other side things.
Yes, no, and I agree with this. This is why Ahsoka is such a beloved character.
But she's so directly related to the Skywalker.
They're associated with the Skywalkers.
6 Degrees of Skywalker.
The ones the characters that I like, you can't take the Skywalkers out of it because that's.
I think you can take the Skywalkers out of it.
No, you take the Skywalkers out of it, and I'm telling you right now, people will not want to watch it.
The video games have done it. Extended canon has done it.
Skywalker, though.
They're referencing. You don't have to take the Skywalkers out, like, completely out of it.
I'm not saying abolish the fact that they exist.
I'm not saying that they need to have a character.
That's what I mean. I mean, like, you can't take this. I'm not abolishing the idea of the Skywalkers existing in the Star Wars universe, but just you don't talk about them. You don't feature them. It has nothing really to do with them because it doesn't need to. They have enough bigger plots, the Force in general, the creation of the different worlds and how they operate, that's much more interesting than the small idea of Anakin Skywalker.
I do not disagree with you, but you can't not have them referenced or somehow associated with the movie. I feel it will hurt. But Ahsoka is associated. That's the association I mean. You can branch off, but it has to be somewhere where it has to be linked to the Skywalkers. Because I'm sorry, you can see. We can argue this all night, but the Star Wars saga is all about the Skywalkers.
Because they're scared to leave the Skywalkers. Like if they did something,
that's just the way it is.
If they did something hundreds of years in the past, and they had the Jedi's, the Sith, and the Force, and characters that people can get in tune with, you don't need the fucking Skywalkers. You just
I was about to say, how far away are you talking? Like not involved with the Skywalkers? Are you talking like okay? Aside from the first season of Mando, if you get rid of Luke Skywalker at the end, would you consider that to be as far away from the Skywalker saga as possible, or it's because of?
Yeah. Because at some point it's going to happen.
No, my point is that everything ties to the Skywalkers. It's just a matter of degree. It's like the fucking. Well,
now you have the Empire and the fallout after.
I'm not saying they have to even be in the show or the movie. I'm just saying you've got to. I mean, you can show clips of them.
I prefer. I think they would be able to do a very successful show if you had enough people with love of the Star Wars universe. And it took place 500, 1,000, 2,000 years before the Skywalkers even fucking existed.
Well, that
would be.
I agree with that. I agree with that, but I just wasn't sure what you meant, in terms of how far.
I would say far enough so that the Skywalkers, what happened with them, is not still reverberating within the world. But before A New Hope, before the original fucking thing, before the prequels even existed, before. Don't mention Skywalker at all. The things that people actually love about that universe is the key elements of it and how they're shown within specific characters. You can have a character that maybe even mirrors the road map that Luke went on or that any of the other Jedis went on, but it doesn't have to be the Skywalkers. I'm tired of the fucking Skywalkers.
I'll be honest with you. The Andor series, that's probably going to be the most interesting thing that I'm looking forward to, because I'm kind of in the same boat of I'd love to know more about the Empire's rise from episode 3 up into 4, because that is a fucking big gap for a lot of shit to happen in between. That really, Obi-Wan showed us that the Jedi are all but dead at this point, right? That Vader's doing his thing as becoming he's doing his own thing with the Emperor in terms of the Empire. But I mean, we went from a fucking galactic senate to an empire. There's a lot of there's a lot of shit to sift through.
If I was redoing the Star Wars universe, those last 3 movies that came out, the newest ones, I would have fucking had nothing to do with the Skywalkers.
Well, then you ruined.
The movies ruined themselves anyway.
Well,
I get you, but you can't. Because the reason that they were going to do these 3, and I agree with you that they fucked them up. I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong. You're right. My point is, everybody was clamoring for what happened to Luke Skywalker. That's why they made these 3 movies, and they fucking failed. That's why they failed. Because they didn't fucking talk about the Skywalkers enough. They were there.
No, they didn't.
They weren't the focal point.
He is the focal point of he should have been the focal point of these 3 movies.
There was no focal point to that in those movies. They were terribly made. They were a mess. I mean, if they were going to do it right, yes, you could have done 3 with Luke Skywalker being like fucking the way he was and like living on a fucking island milking fucking titty milk off in God knows where. But like you didn't need to. I think enough people were interested in the idea of the Jedi, idea of the Sith, idea of it being planetary exploration and things like that.
If you're going to do an episode 7, 8, and 9, then it has to be a Skywalker film.
Well, if you're going to label the 7, 8, and 9, yes.
Okay,
I wouldn't have gone in that direction.
Even if you go before that, the minute you mention Darth Plagueis, Anakin.
No.
Well, that's my point. Is that like, you can fucking everything ties to a Skywalker at some point
in a universe far away. It's like, holy fucking Christ! You know how big space is?
Yeah, we saw. We saw it.
Space.
It was a locale in Endgame, for God's sake.
Everything is actually just 5 planets and a bunch of teddy bears.
It's like multiverse of madness.
Universe
3.
The Star Wars universe that has actually been mapped out, it's only about 12 planets, if I remember
no,
right.
I think it's way more than that. Wait, no, I might be confusing Mass Effect with Star Wars.
12 systems that we know of. Right
fuck
now.
Star Wars, that's all I'm going to say.
Well, Marvel Universe.
Yes, fuck them both. Let's go watch Anna Green Gables and jerk off.
I disagree with what Basement's saying, but whatever.
I'm just going to keep the camera like this the entire time.
How much more Star Wars Star Wars? It's about the whole universe. No, it's not. It's about fucking
all the Skywalkers. Are literally dead now.
Until they bring them back.
It's the only way they can.
I don't know. How the fuck did they bring back the Empire or the Emperor or whatever the fuck his name is?
There's so much. On both fronts, both Marvel and Star Wars have so many different avenues of areas they could explore if given the opportunity. More so Star Wars, because as
you realize Emperor Palpatine had to fucking have sex with somebody.
No,
well,
not
it's
necessarily.
Before Emperor Palpatine. I mean, remember he was old as shit when he was in the Senate.
How did we get the clone?
How
army?
old is Rey?
How do we get the clone army?
Because Rey, he fucked somebody looking like a ball sack.
I am the Senate.
Lightning bolt.
But it's not his daughter; it's his granddaughter.
Who's it? I don't even fucking know
It's his
anymore.
granddaughter. Yes.
I call my penis the Senate.
He killed his own son, trying to find her, which is why she was on Jakku.
Jakku?
That's the name of the planet.
Jack me.
Oh.
All right, I can't talk about it anymore, man.
Yeah,
But,
we'll save all of that talk for when we get to the Star Wars roundtable.
Oh man, that's gonna be
God.
a fucking shit show. I know.
Anyway, speaking of shit shows, let's talk about Kanye West and Pete Davidson, huh? How about that? Holy crap.
Who else loves fucking Kim Kardashian news?
So, Jesus Christ. Okay. Kanye West apparently posted a mysterious Instagram death notice for, quote, Skeet Davidson. Wonder who the fuck he's referring to. Kanye West has posted a mock death notice for Pete Davidson following reports the comedian's romance with his ex-wife Kim Kardashian has ended. West, who has legally changed his name to... God damn it. West, who legally changed his name to Yee.
Yep.
Yay!
Yeehaw.
is openly critical of Davidson in his Instagram post, nicknaming the SNL live star Skeet during several months of TV personality dated Kardashian.
Kanye.
Okay,
Kanye.
The bottom of the front page mocked appeared to allude to West Fallout with the fellow rapper Kid Cudi with a small print that read, Kid Cudi meant to play funeral, but fearful of bottle throwers. Apparently letting, I don't even fucking know.
Someone threw a bottle at his face while he was live performing. Or some shit. I don't know. I don't give a fuck, to be honest. Like, the bottom line is Kanye West. I was in high school when his first and only good album dropped in my mind. And then after that, I was like, I wish the motherfucker never got his jaw unwired.
I'm not saying he's a gold digger. I'm just saying she's not messing with... Who isn't she messing with?
He might be broke!
Look at these gifts.
Yeah.
Look at this guy over here. People think that this blonde, goofy looking motherfucker is funny. I don't know how they think.
You know what? The best.
He's not my favorite. He's not my favorite, but
he's not funny. He's terrible.
GIF of Kanye West, and it looks like it's in reverse.
It's not. He did this multiple times where he laughs and then turns into a serial killer. The one funniest thing you have to think is like, hey, Kim Kardashian, show us images of your past husbands. Good fucking lord.
It's the lone white guy in there.
Pete, this guy. Look at this guy. Come on. This guy is just not even.
This guy.
He looks like a fucking goof troop. And he looks like he's...
He looks like a closet meth addict.
It looks like
He looks like someone I'd take a fucking... You know how you have a barbed wire bat and just repeatedly hit him in the face?
I've got that laying around. Sure, go ahead.
But I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm thinking of the most dangerous thing or most gruesome thing you can do to somebody. This guy I just want to punch this guy.
Pete Davidson, right? You shave his head. You ever see Bandit Brothers?
Yes.
And there's an episode where they find the fucking Jewish death prison.
Yes.
And if you shaved his head,
great start.
That's what you fucking see, okay? He wouldn't be doing the guitar solo, but he'd be fucking walking out and be like, I'm a funny guy. And Kim Kardashian would be like, just walk in and her legs would just spread and her fucking vagina would open like one of the eggs in Alien.
I have nothing against Pete Davidson.
I got a couple things against him.
I don't hate him. I got nothing against him.
I don't like his face.
The treatment he got from Kanye. He divorced Kanye and wanted him out of her fucking life.
Kanye's tapped.
For good. But Kanye is not getting the message, and he's becoming a harassing little shit.
Oh, I'm not defending Kanye West.
We know you're not.
No, I think they should all just be burned alive.
I think it should just...
Pete Davidson, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West.
You can't burn the Kardashians. All that plastic would be damaging to the ozone layer.
You don't be bitching about that.
You light her on fire and she just comes out with like 3 small black men.
You burn her down all that
Attack.
stuff.
I just wanted to talk about the gifts because I don't give 2 fucking shits about these things.
But there's a couple like that with Kanye West.
Back to the gift.
If we had Greg on the call with us, he would talk about this.
Oh, he hates the Kardashians. I think he might, like, if you ever see all the Kardashians mysteriously die, I know who did it.
Who?
Trek
did it.
It's like all of a sudden there was a bunch of pizza boxes and dead Kardashians.
Shrek, why are you covered in blood?
They say, hey, Kim Kardashian. It's like that.
Why are you covered in plastic, Trek?
Why are you covered in blood-covered plastic? Weird. Anyway.
Oh my god.
He's always got something to say when as soon as Kim Kardashian. I think he looks at the news when Kim Kardashian. It's like, what is Kim Kardashian up to today?
Sure.
You know what this bitch did? And he'll just go off on a fucking tangent. This raggedy ass bitch. I'm like,
the only time she stands up is to move from dick to dick.
This is true.
Well, no, she's got pee once in a while.
Yeah, in between.
Well, during.
I mean, there is a corner for there is a market for that. Yeah.
Lastly, I'm gonna say on this, I'm not defending Pete Davidson at all on this because this dumbass
motherfucker
talk about the fucking relationship went and got Kim's all of Kim's kids' names tattooed on his fucking body.
Look at
Why?
this guy.
Fucking moron.
Look at this guy.
Oh.
Just take a good look at
Like,
him.
the thing that frustrates me the most about this guy is like, I don't think Kim Kardashian's attractive. I think she's a fucking plastic doll. But there's other women. This guy is like sleeping with the hottest women in Hollywood for the most part.
Well, I want to punch this motherfucker in the face.
And he looks like he hasn't eaten a fucking morsel of food in 74 years. It's like, I feel like he looks like a dehydrated fruit.
This fucking guy.
Fucking.
If I did that in public,
I-
I would throw a
I did.
punch.
I did laugh when the clip of him is like, "Hey Pete, do you want to take a quick shower?" And he just drops everything he's doing and just instantly just beelines it for wherever Kim is. But I got nothing against Pete Davidson, but I think Kanye is just little.
I kind of hate them both.
Like,
A little? No, he needs
All
to
of
be under secure surveillance at this point.
I just don't think he's funny. That's all. Everybody thinks he's the funniest man on the face. Look at this guy.
Oh God, no. My favorite comedians right now is a tie between either Dave Chappelle or Bill Burr. Those are my two favorites currently right now.
The only way Pete Davidson would get me to laugh is he got hit by a bus.
Yes.
And apparently he does have cock and balls because Kim Kardashian wanted to fuck him.
yeah, chuckle sluts all around, I guess.
This guy gets the hottest women in fucking Hollywood.
Yeah, because before her, he had Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
And then
Clearly
he
I'm
had
doing-
Kate Beckinsale, and the guy is just
That's what I'm fucking do. You guys want me to fucking dye my hair like that?
dye your
Fucking
hair, stop
What hair?
eating, pretend like you're funny. I guess.
Dang.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying, right? No, you don't. You don't. Get
No, she doesn't because she's focusing on something completely different that you were.
What is going on? What?
Don't explain. Don't nope. Let him sleep on the
Something I
couch.
said or something I did.
Don't worry, JP. I'm
Anyway.
in the same place as you.
Facebook.
If you ask me to cut your hair, I need to use clippers to do it because you ain't got none, honey.
I was talking about dyeing my hair.
Oh, Jet Black.
Just like him. All I'm saying is, come
No,
on.
Jet Black. Jet Black. Let's go full Elvis.
I want to be like Pete Davidson. I really
Do you though? Do you? Yeah.
I don't.
Speaking of useless
Pete
tools, Facebook turned over chat messages between mother and daughter. Oh, I heard about this. This is a weird one for sure. So, okay, we'll get right into it.
It's a great story.
Oh, wait for it.
Go
So
ahead.
apparently Facebook turned over the chats of a mother and her daughter to Nebraska police after they were served with a warrant as part of an investigation into an illegal abortion. So the investigation, which was launched in April before the Supreme Court, this is before the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, is one of the few known instances of Facebook turning over information to help law enforcement officials pursue an abortion case, but is also an example of a scenario that abortion rights experts have warned will be more common as all abortions become illegal in many states. Madison County prosecutors say that Jessica Burgess, 41, acquired and gave abortion pills to her daughter, who was 17 at the time, and helped her bury and then rebury the. Oh God, that's fucking brutal. The Norfolk Daily News first reported the case. The two were charged last month and have pleaded not guilty. A lawyer for the two women didn't respond to a request for comment. So this is just a whole mess of. Facebook is now Facebook can't be trusted, apparently.
Well,
So
that's not news.
that is what the story should be about. But
That's why I shared it. It's more because of the fact that if Facebook is doing this with these messages, imagine what they're doing with your other messages.
But
Take this out of con.
Can I ask this question? Did
Yeah.
the investigators ask for said information?
My understanding, yes.
Then what can they can't not, because it's
It's like getting phone records.
they wouldn't release what was said.
So here's
on
what
those messages.
Here's how it said. It said, according to a sworn affidavit from detective of the Norfolk Police Investigation Unit, police started with a tip from a woman who described herself as a friend of the girl, the 17-year-old, who said she saw her take the pill first in April. Under a Nebraska law enacted before Roe was overturned, abortion is legal at 20 weeks after an egg is fertilized. According to the affidavit, the mother had a miscarriage when she was around 28 weeks pregnant, soon after taking the abortion pills. McBride then applied for and got a warrant for in June for access into the digital lives of the mother and the daughter, seizing 6 smartphones and 7 laptops and compelling Facebook to turn over chats between them. So it's not a matter of Facebook went out of their way.
Okay. So then it
yeah.
might be legally done because you can release if the investigators ask for it.
I have a lot of digital shit to burn then. Go ahead.
Well, if the investigators, I get you.
Browsing history.
If the investigation said, would I disagree with? Did they release said text messages to what was said verbatim?
Yes.
But then they're stupid. You shouldn't do that. And I'm talking about the investigators should not have a fucking law. Or Facebook, if they did that,
breaks privacy laws
at that point, just because they released it, if the police
if you're under fucking suspicion or trying to be convicted of doing something against the law, they can kind of access whatever the fuck they want.
But
right
here's
in doing this, go ahead.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm drunk. I'm drunk, so bear with me. Privacy laws in what regards, though? Because if you're, it goes back to the whole fucking terms of service shit. We were talking about this but we were joking about this about like, oh, Trump getting banned from Twitter. It's up to the social media's platform's discretion on what they want to consider privacy, right? Because it's the whole like
above the law.
Right, that's my point. Is that that's where things get hairy, right? So it's like
Potter.
What?
If Facebook released them before the police did, then I completely understand it.
Right. If Facebook's like, here you go
for something.
No, they released them to the police. Is my understanding of this whole situation.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if Facebook released this information with those texts and what was said before the police were able to release it, then Facebook is wrong. They cannot do that. It's still a privacy law.
But my point is that if it's between Facebook, though, if it's on a Facebook platform, that I'm not defending Facebook. I'm just saying
of course not. It's what separates it is the fact that these were private DMs. These were not publicly posted on a wall or in a private group or anything. It was
correct.
A private DM.
Right. On Facebook, though.
Yes. However, because it was something that was done privately, that is part of the privacy laws, as well as all their information.
Well, that just means them people can counter sue, whatever.
I don't think anything's going to come of it. I think it was just taken because the police requested it. But I mean, again, if I'm going to pass you my book and say, write your secrets in there,
I'd have to see the terms of service for Facebook, though, because like, I didn't fucking read the terms of service for Facebook. Nobody reads the terms of service for anything now.
Right now, too, the terms of service, not only for Facebook, but also Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, they're not going to have these specifics in any of them.
Right, of course not. And that's my point, is that like,
but also they're written in a way that like
their discretion, what they consider your privacy.
They're written in a way where you might as well fucking blow your brains out, because everything is like, they don't refer to like Facebook. They don't refer to you. They like one party A and party B or this, and like it's all like, what? And there's 700 pages of it, and you're like, and all I want to do is talk to my aunt.
There's a little asterisk that you have to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page to get the deeper meaning behind in print that's fucking microscopic.
I got no time for that shit.
Exactly.
Got things to do. Lives to ruin. That was my point, is that like, privacy laws, I get that. But number one, if the police are confiscating multiple electronic devices,
They'll get them text messages.
Then they're gonna
Okay,
get it one way or
that's
the
wrong.
other. But if they're requesting Facebook of that, then it's like, well,
If you have the devices, why do you need to request Facebook?
Well, I don't know how long back you can go with. Like I know in Twitter for me, I can go so
don't-
far.
Don't mind me. I'm just deleting my browser history.
Well,
But go ahead.
I say, Aaron, don't blame Facebook. Not until you. I don't even know the whole story.
But also, did you say 48 months?
What?
Like
28 weeks.
Sorry, 48 weeks. I thought he said.
28 weeks.
But he thought you said 48 weeks. Relax.
But it's. I
Not
mean,
proud of my browser history, but go ahead.
Mark Zucker was just in a Senate hearing about private information being shared. Yeah, but
Mark Zuckerberg?
I call him Zucker because he's a fucking sucker.
He's also a robot.
Everybody that goes
He's an
on
android.
Facebook and knowing he's a piece of shit is a Zucker.
He doesn't fucking blink. He doesn't fucking
Doesn't.
blink, and anybody who tells you otherwise is full of shit. I have not seen that guy fucking blink. He is a goddamn robot.
He's
I
the
think
lizard
his wife taped his eyelids.
He's got a wife?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
of
he
course
built her
does.
himself.
She's got $1 billion.
Built
Yeah,
her herself.
more than $1 billion.
Hello, honey.
Alexa, stop.
The bigger issue is, and I think this is why this was released, is because it was an abortion issue.
Yeah, they're
Which
gonna
is
start like hammering down on that right now until like they stop talking about it and then they don't give a shit. Yeah.
But I think that's why they released it. I think that's why it was released. And
I mean, it even goes deeper than that because Basement, you and I started watching Game of Thrones. You do not have Facebook. I mentioned nothing about Game of Thrones on my Facebook.
Advertisements came for
My
you.
Facebook fucking timeline is filled with Game of Thrones shit right
Hey,
now.
it's not just Facebook. It's pretty much every social platform out there.
You know, it's funny.
It's always
I did an
listening.
experiment.
I wanted to bring that up.
I did an experiment this past week, and it's funny you mentioned that because it's almost the exact same thing. I did not search. I did not put into anything whatsoever in my phone the phrase Grand Canyon. And for a week, I talked to my mom because I was hanging out with her for a week, and said, talking about the Grand Canyon. She said, "Why are you bringing it up?" I said, hear me out. I want to see if this works.
It does.
Sure enough, I logged into Facebook on Thursday, and rates for Grand Canyon.
Always listening. It's always listening, man.
Fucks you up.
It's 100% true because I've like it takes you aback at first because like did I even fucking search for this or was I just talking about it at one point in time and now all of a sudden it's like the flood of fucking bullshit that I don't want to see.
And what's even worse is it's not ads for Game of Thrones. It's actual accounts.
Yeah.
And Facebook groups leading to Game of Thrones.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the Horny Goat 1.
Horny Goat 1. Horny Goat. Check it out.
I don't believe any of that shit.
It's 100% true.
It's not.
It is.
Well, JP, you have to figure that everything has a fucking microphone in it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Everybody's being marketed to all the fucking time.
That doesn't mean anything.
It does. It does. You ever go on Twitter and see ads for having sex with little kids?
Bibs.
No, I've never.
Well, look at that. Well, I had that bookmarked. That's beside the point. That example.
That happened to me.
You will.
Or he has, he
Try
just
it.
doesn't remember.
Probably not the best time to be asking him to do this.
He's talking about something. and
You
it's showing up
will.
on Facebook or your Twitter.
No.
JP, try it for a week. Start on Monday and just start like talking, but don't search it. You have to like any random obscure topic or whatever.
Make sure you
And
mention
see
it
if-
a lot.
Yeah, verbally. Don't type it. Don't text it. Don't message it whatsoever, and see what the
about it.
results are.
I don't talk to people.
God
I don't
damn
play
it!
PlayStation. I don't. Never mind. Just I'm fucking lost. All right.
It's lost in the
Roll
sauce.
with the punches, boys. Roll with the punches. All right, it's happening. Okay, it has begun.
All right. Well,
all
fuck
right.
Facebook.
Mortal Kombat right now.
Fuck everything else, I guess.
I'm already crashing, so it's okay. Speaking of crashing, how about good old everyone's favorite DC Flash, Ezra Miller.
Again?
Dude,
again is right.
We still live
Yep.
in the controversy world.
So there's two things I want to note about this. One is the article that we listed. The other is something I wanted to bring up that kind of ties into this. So police are apparently looking to locate a 25-year-old mother and her 3 young children who have been living at Ezra Miller's Vermont farm, with officials citing concern that the Flash star is shielding their whereabouts. Reading an article while hammered's not a really great thing. Over the weekend, Vermont State Police repeatedly attempted to serve the mother an emergency care order that demanded the children's removal from her care and the home over fear for their safety. But Miller claimed that the family hasn't lived there in months, which the Vermont State Attorney Office said seemed like an attempt to evade service of the order, according to the court document obtained by Rolling Stone. I'm at a loss for words at this fucking point. I don't know what the fuck to do with this guy.
I mean, the last thing I heard is
not in prison.
the last thing I heard. The last thing I heard is that they probably, or there's talk about not actually featuring the movie.
So that's what I was going to get into.
That about this last week.
Well, this is actually something that's actually more, a little more concrete, I guess you could say. It's not necessarily confirmed, but apparently Warner Brothers had a big meeting with Discovery, and they're discussing.
They're discussing with Joy about not having Ezra Miller.
You gotta take the lips back to the store. You gotta rent a different pair.
What the fuck is going on right now?
I'm drunk. That's the problem. So supposedly Warner Brothers are discussing one of 3 options.
Kill Ezra Miller. Hang his head from Warner Brothers Studio, where the water tower is.
I would actually love to see that. That's a fucking movie in and of itself.
Yes.
So according to different reports, the first option would see the actor try and secure some counseling and then give an interview in the future explaining their erratic behavior. After that period, Miller could do some small press for The Flash before it opens in theaters. So still keep going with everything going.
That ain't gonna happen.
Going through that. Yeah, that's not I know. No. The other 2 options are the first one being Warner Brothers Discovery still chooses to release the film, but the star, meaning Ezra Miller, would do no press whatsoever for the Flash movie, which, I mean...
It's not good. It's not a good option either.
Well, I mean, that's...
You can have the honestly, other people involved in the movie do the press.
That's probably what they would do. If I was a betting man, unless something else happened, that's probably what they'll end up doing.
What would you do?
Well, then let me get to the third option.
That's what I would do too.
If the situation got any worse, the company could opt to shelve the Flash movie, just like they did with the Batgirl movie. But that move seems unthinkable, and it was regarded as a cost-saving move. Batgirl cost $70 million, and the Flash is apparently a $200 million tentpole blockbuster. So there's obviously a lot more money, time, effort, energy, and everything put into the film of this.
The gap is a little smaller than that because Batgirl ended up being $90 million.
And you know what? In the end, DC fucking and Warner Brothers, they deserve this. Fuck them.
Seriously,
you can't put together a good anything.
Okay, if it was me in charge with if money was not an option or was not an object, I would do the third option.
Money would be if I was in the seat of.
They could still recoup some of that money by writing off that movie on their taxes. Like they're going to do with Batgirl.
I mean, it's not gonna.
I would publicly come out and say the Flash is not going to be. I'd just fucking be truthful. I'd come out and say, in light of everything that's going on with Ezra Miller, the star of the Flash, we are not going to be releasing it theatrically. We will, however, put it out later on HBO Max. If you want to watch it, watch it. But fuck, it's not part of our canon anymore.
Well,
and he's not part of our canon anymore either. And that's it.
That was gonna be my point. If they're gonna go with this giant DC reboot, right, and go like a big, massive 10-year plan with the DCEU, right? If they're gonna redo everything, presumably we don't know what the fuck their plan is. But if they're gonna do this, one way or the other, Ezra Miller is not gonna be involved with it because one way or the other, Flash is going to be the end all be all. So depending on how that movie ends or how it, whatever
it's a nothing movie at this point.
That's my point. So I mean, at this point, I'd say fucking cut their losses. And if you want DC movies to have not that they haven't had a total.
Like the thing is, even Batgirl, and this I'd still release on like HBO Max as being like we have decided to move in a different. Just fucking be truthful with everybody knows what the fuck's going on anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And why like cut out those and be like, hey, it's a shit movie, but we made it. If you want to watch it, you can.
But
People would, especially if
know
you put on these.
shit. Why would? What do you mean shit movie? I don't.
But Batgirl
Batgirl, some of the screen testers that came out of that
said it was absolutely terrible.
It was like a bad TV episode.
Well, those kinds of movies all of a sudden become cult classics.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I still allow people to see it.
The Batgirl, I would release. The Flash, I don't think that will ever happen.
Well, it's hard to say.
Okay, so cancel the Flash. Don't show it anywhere. Batgirl, cancel theatrical release. Have it shown on HBO, but make it very clear that Batgirl is not like the direction they're going in, but it's made, and we want to show it because people are asking to see it, and a lot of people like a lot of the casting choices people like.
I personally think they should redo the fucking DCU. Start the fuck over. If
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. They should do.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
But before they do that, still like recoup the costs, some of the costs from Batgirl, if you're gonna cancel the Flash.
I don't disagree with that. But the Flash thing, they will.
It's such a tough sell. It's such a tough sell. The Flash.
Why? Well, because Ezra Miller's
He's a star. Yeah, if he wasn't a star.
That's why I said totally scrap it and just drop it and then fucking do
Batgirl on HBO Max. But make it clear that it's not where we're going.
Scrap the whole thing and just go on.
$300 million just thrown away with nothing to show for it.
Yes,
it's a tax write-off for them, though.
Exactly, and you also realize with all the other projects with all the other projects they have, they're going to recoup that money no matter what. It may not be on DCEU. They'll recoup it on fucking Shark Week for all we know.
The only reason I'm saying show Batgirl is because the movie is basically done, and it doesn't have the. It might be a shit movie, but so was 90% of the fucking movies they came out with anyway.
Batgirl you would get something back from it, at least.
That's
if you made
what I'm
it an
saying.
HBO Max exclusive, which you're right. Yeah, I mean, because then you could use it as a pitch to be like, hey, you're only going to see this exclusively on HBO Max. But I don't know.
It has to be made very clear to the audience that we are rebooting the DC.
I don't think
universe.
Flash should see the light of day at this point.
I don't either. I think
it sucks too, because I would love. Honestly, out of everything that DC announced,
well, I mean, they'll recoup costs because they're going to sue the fucking
for.
tits off Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller should be sued for the entire cost of the fucking movie. Honestly, like he's the only reason that this is happening.
Breach of contract or something like that.
I agree with you. What I'm trying to say is they just start the fuck over.
They're going to though. That's a plan.
All of it.
That's the plan.
If they're recasting, recast. We talked about this last week. I said the only person or people that I don't think should be recast out of that, is Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa.
I'd recast the whole fucking thing, to be honest.
You better not recast Jason Momoa. That man is a.
We talked. You cannot.
The problem is
right there with the other.
It's very difficult to reboot something when you're keeping relics of what it was.
Yeah, but it's hard. I mean, they knocked it out of the park with. Okay.
You know what? Like, because then now you have Aquaman and Aquaman 2, which had its own problems, still being part of a universe you want to reboot.
But you can revert that and tell a different story.
You know what's ironic is that the one movie they could reboot everything with is The Flash.
Yeah.
They could do a Flashpoint.
The guy who did the Flash on the TV series, which is ending at season 9.
Just go in a different direction than where you were going. Like
DC would be smart if they just chose a lesser known person, a lesser known hero. Iron Man worked wonders for the MCU. Don't go with Batman as the pivoting point for DC. Just do not, please God.
They're trying to build the Justice League. Is what they were trying to do, and they
tried to build the Avengers, and it took 6 movies to get there, or whatever it was.
Actually, if throwing this out there, Black Adam could be a very good pivot. Yes, Black Adam. could be a very big pivotal point because if I'm not mistaken, Hawkgirl. Take a shot for that one.
Hawkman, Hawkboy,
Hawkman, the Atom, and Dr. Fate, who I believe are the other heroes in that movie,
Yes.
are being billed as the Justice Society, which is the precursor to Justice League.
Okay.
So you could have Black Adam being that launching point for a bigger.
Okay, so, and you're right, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Just start fresh. Get rid of. We got the origin story for Wonder Woman. We get the origin story.
5 million origin stories for Batman.
But I'm
and
talking
Superman.
about in this universe that they're creating with Warner Brothers. I mean, I get it, but the whole thing is they should now build to the Justice League, and this is
Agreed.
That should be, and then start making
You almost have
movies
to
out
kill
of that.
the old staff.
So follow, and they're following, and you said this last week, they're following the timeline of Marvel. Or
I said a
they
lot of things
should.
last week, but go ahead.
Huh?
They gotta get rid of like what currently exists though. It has to be pushed to the back of the mind. And then like this is where I say you keep Gal Gadot. I don't think Gal Gadot is so special that she needs to stay as Wonder Woman. To be honest, like she's not.
Who would you cast then?
Well, currently I don't know, but I think she's.
I know a name instantly. I would recast Wonder Woman as Rosie O'Donnell.
She's got the fire. She's also like 70 and disgusting.
we talked about this last motherfucker.
I think if you give me time, I could probably come up with somebody. But Gal Gadot is not an exceptionally good actress or anything.
I personally think Gal Gadot did a fantastic job.
I did too.
I think the writing was good. I don't think she was exceptional. She was passable. She's pretty good, but it wasn't like.
I think if you're going to reboot the DCEU, I think Black Adam would be a perfect movie to be the starting point for it because you could have it be around a Justice Society, which is a precursor to Justice League. I agree with JP that it should be building up to a Justice League, but there's a lot of the ideas that you want to kind of
Black Adam's
step
a bad
away
guy, right?
from.
He's Shazam's villain.
Well, he's an anti-hero. He's kind of in that.
Just make a movie where one of the bad guys kills every single current version of heroes and restart.
Perfect. Love it.
They catch Flash fucking indoctrinating teenagers. They kill him.
Jesus Christ.
How are you gonna kill Superman?
Kryptonite.
I already did.
Yeah. He came back from the dead.
Like I said, how are you gonna kill Batman?
No, you didn't say that.
He corrected himself. He said Superman after that.
Put him in a case of kryptonite and send him into the
Center of the earth.
The thing is, I just hope this 10-year plan. Because didn't they hire somebody who was like not with Marvel, like specifically, not like Kevin Feige, but like kind of in the same, like he was in the inner circle.
I feel whoever they hired, I feel bad for because you are like, it's not that the ship is sinking. The ship has sunk. It's at the bottom of the fucking ocean, and you got to raise that bitch back up to be on top of the water. That's how bad.
But the potential is there. There's so many. I mean, look, like I said,
like, how are you gonna fucking sift through the shit? There's so much fucking shit.
Look, Paul said in the chat, bring in Deadpool and kill the DC universe. That's fucking hilarious. I would love that. Where's my mask?
You know what? If fucking Disney ends up buying DC.
We talked about this last week. The DC comic stories are 50 million times. We talked about this.
They're better.
They are way better.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Marvel story out there.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
No, I know you're not. But the get rid of Deadpool, who is a Marvel guy, coming in. Stop.
For me,
it's you. You don't like DC Universe. It's fine. I don't.
Well, it's not that they don't like the DC Universe. They just don't like the current state.
I mean, for me personally, I would wipe the slate clean. I would cancel Flash. I would probably release Batgirl just to recoup some cost. I would get rid of everybody, and I mean everybody that's currently acting in DC.
That
I
sucks
would
'cause I love Henry
recast. Yep,
Cavill.
I'd still do it. It sucks because Aquaman is cast perfectly, Henry Cavill's cast perfectly, Gal Gadot
It's
is
already started
cast
shooting.
well.
You're
But
gonna waste that there.
yeah, well,
Fine, bring
that's
Jason
happening.
Momoa over here then.
Aquaman 2.
I am. Aquaman 2 is basically done, but they're editing it to get rid of Amber Heard more.
And Shazam is coming out too.
Shazam is one of those ones that it's a tough. Like the thing is, Shazam, I don't really care. Shazam could stay because it's so like tertiary to the main. It's like canceling Ant-Man if you were to reboot the MCU.
How dare you? How
That's what I
dare
mean. Like,
you?
it's so like side piece.
I know.
But like I would reset to that point, and I would go with a when the storyline like a more mature audience. I would go with certain products being more rated R and certain products being PG-13. But that's where I would land. I try to differentiate from the MCU because
It's tricky.
you don't want
to
to ape the MCU and just do it worse.
Right. but it's trickier when you're splitting up your ratings for your movies. Because generally you want to try and follow, you want the audience to stay along for the ride as long as possible.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't make the rated R like a super hard R, and I wouldn't make the PG-13 a very PG. It would, like they'd be somewhat similar.
A flaccid R.
You would grade the lines.
Yeah.
between-
A flaccid R.
Where something needs to be a bit more violent, then I might get the R rating on it.
Personally, I would take a year off. Get as many of the projects as you need to get out, like the Shazam and whatever out, and then take a full calendar year off. No DC projects out whatsoever. What's that?
To plan what the fuck you're doing instead of releasing a bunch of weird ass shit randomly.
That's my point. Like, take the year, chill the F out, and then start implementing the vision. Because out of sight, out of mind. Like, I think that, like, we all said that, like, Henry Cavill was perfectly cast.
The casting wasn't the problem. Everything else was the problem.
But I'm saying is, if you're gonna diverge from that and you're gonna go completely fresh, which is fine, you need to have people forget that part of it too. You need to get like that, like,
yeah.
These are no longer these people. So it's really fucking tricky. But and like I said, the ironic thing is that the one movie that you could use to reboot everything would be the fucking Flash movie, because you could do, which was rumored, was the Flashpoint, which is when the Flash basically runs so far back in time that he changes everything. He changes something in the past and changes everything from here on out, which is really fucking ironic because that's what Ezra Miller's doing right now.
No, Ezra Miller's gonna want that power in about 6 months.
Yeah, he's gonna want to do that
When he's getting
fucking
butt fucked in prison, he's gonna be like, "Man, I wish I could run back in time."
Listen, don't knock it till you try it. Let me just see here what we got. I'm really fucking hammered, so I apologize in advance. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about with that?
I mean, there's no with Ezra Miller and DC Universe.
Cool.
Ezra Miller's done.
All right, let's talk about
like 4 weeks in a row we've talked about that motherfucker.
Yeah, I
Because he's done.
It's his
so fucking
fault.
stupid.
He just
yeah.
I know it's his fault. I'm just saying.
Dumbass.
He just won't stay
Anyway.
out of the news.
Arthur Salman
Rushdie?
Rushdie.
Yes.
So if he's not on his game, he's a little rusty.
Yes.
Was apparently stabbed on.
I fucking hate you.
I'm not apologizing for that joke. Was stabbed on lecture stage in New York. Holy shit! So apparently Salman Rushdie, whose novel the Satanic Verses, great, drew death threats from Iran's leaders in the 1980s, was stabbed in the neck, Jesus Christ, and abdomen Friday by a man who rushed the stage as an author was about to give a lecture.
So I'll help you out.
Please do.
He wrote actually did decent stories, but it was like you're not adhering to this specific religion, so they put a fatwa out on him, which is a hit basically, and
Fatwa.
it's been there for since the 80s or whatever, and nobody's really like took him up. And at this point, I guess somebody rushes. They stabbed him in the neck, but they stabbed him everywhere else. They stabbed him like 50 times.
Fucking hell.
And like when he was just I don't think he's written a story in a while, but like he was there to discuss one of them. And I remember seeing him on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it was fucking hilarious.
Was it when what's his name got fatwad?
Yeah, he got fatwad, and then he's like,
Oh
he
my
meets
God.
up with Salman Rushdie, and he's like,
Listen,
the ladies
I haven't
fucking
watched-
love it.
I haven't watched much of Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I have seen that one clip, and I fucking died laughing at that one. Where they're like, "What the fuck? I don't want to be fucking fatwad." Like, oh god.
He meets up with this guy in a restaurant, and he's like, you know what? Fatwa's a blessing. The women fucking love it.
What the fuck does this guy do?
He's an author.
He's an author.
What did he do? He authored a book.
He wrote a book that I guess like
He
was
offered-
against
He offered a book. Here you
the
go.
beliefs of where he's from. So they're
Which
like,
is
fuck
where
this
is he
guy.
from? Where's he from?
Iran.
Oh, so he's either a Sunni or a Shiite.
Yeah, and like his books have nothing to. They're like much more what you'd expect an American or North American author would write. So it has like no respect for the Muslim
So
religion.
he wrote in a Western civilization style.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so they put a bounty out on him in the 80s, but nobody took it up on him until now, where he was stabbed in the neck and several other places over 50 times.
Okay.
He ran so far away.
So I get. So what?
Yep. Is your head okay?
Yes,
Mine's not, I'm fucking-
I just this guy here.
Yeah, look at him. His eyes are half open. He looks like a
Guy's
goblin.
almost as fucking bad as Pete fucking Davidson. Fuck it.
He looks like a goblin.
Right.
So, okay, is he alive?
Yes, he's on a ventilator.
Jesus Christ.
But,
So, did the guy just storm the stage and
He
like?
stormed the stage and stabbed him a bunch.
but is this guy like calling out the Iranian government or what?
Just-
What is
No, I
something,
mean
yeah.
he was like he's an award-winning writer, but a lot of his like stories, and I might be completely wrong on this. Forgive me if I am, but I believe a lot of his stories take place with that like link the struggle of like the Iranian people in a world that's like he basically writes about the struggle of faith versus real life or whatever in that type of society, and like the treatment. I think one of his books is about like the women and
he's
their struggle.
basically calling out the Iranian
Yeah,
government.
he's like, fuck this shit.
And the religious belief.
Got it. Well, their law is their religion.
Yeah,
I get
right.
it. So I'm just trying to gather my thoughts for this guy.
Same.
The reason that they're trying to kill him, now I get.
Yeah, they put a hit on him for like 30
Is
years.
it right? No, I'm not agreeing with it. Trust me.
He just now understands what the fuck is
It's
going
like,
on.
why is this guy so relevant? Is this guy like fucking some sort of like leader or?
I mean, he was extremely popular, at least here in Canada, for 5-10 years. He had a couple of books that were like top tier novels.
This wouldn't happen if it was in Canada.
Okay, that's why we're
So
That's
yeah,
all
he's all fucked up. Hopefully he lives because
Yeah,
he
seriously.
shouldn't be killed for like expression.
Right.
Agreed. I think I'm pretty sure I mentioned this either last week or at some point in time, but I just miss like, you know what I did, because I remember Heather mentioning specifically that this is why she advocates bringing back debate class in high schools and classrooms, is just fucking people just
Talking
disagreeing and
instead of accusing constantly. Now it's like I'm right, you're wrong, and we're not debating anymore. We're just yelling at each other.
it's to the point. Like, it's to the point where, like, my point is the right point. My way is the right way. My thought is the right thought, and you are wrong. You are vile. You are. It's like, God, fucking damn it! I hate the world sometimes.
So, who here has ever dealt with a Muslim? Basement, I'm pretty sure you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a couple really good Muslim friends.
It's a great
tell
way
me-
when you start off the
so the
question with
best
who
way
here
to
has dealt
explain-
with a Muslim.
So you'll see where I'm going.
I'm teasing you.
I've dealt with all types of Muslims.
Yes.
Are you
So
kidding?
they're different.
Some of them are. The thing is, it's so weird because. Sorry, go ahead. You go ahead.
Their religion is law. So if you're
Oh yes.
So if you were an Iranian, and this is why Iran was doing this, and they figured they could get away with it, I'm not agreeing with it, is based off of their religion. That's why you see all these attacks. 9/11. Why? Because they don't like how we view religion. That's what the extreme Muslims do. That's what they do. We, as a society, kind of label them just because you're a Muslim, you're
an
a killer.
extremist.
That is
Right.
not. That is the farthest from the
completely
truth.
incorrect. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very incorrect, and that's what the point I'm trying to get across. But
Stereotype.
so the Iranian law, the guy broke a law. He spoke out against their religions, and he is. So I'm assuming that they felt they were justified in doing what they were doing. I don't know. That's if you're understanding where I'm going with that.
Well, it's so
the
weird.
Muslim, the Islam is everything to them. That is their.
It's honestly so weird because like I've
the
met
waters get muddied though. In my opinion.
I've met and I'm good friends
You
with
can
multiple people that are Muslim, and it's different from person to person, obviously. But like you can, like okay, so there's this overarching like shadow or overarching like force that influences a lot of what they do, even if they are not directly connected to it. Because
They're more westernized.
the people I know that are Muslim are for the most part Canadian. Like they're Canadian. Yeah, they are Muslim religion, and their parents were immigrants, but they have been raised here, right? But there's
Right.
always like it just shows how strong of a hold their religion has on some people, because I know people that have like really fought internally with like who they are and what they think they should do versus what their religion is always telling them to do in the back of their mind, and the fact that the old ways and the ways of their parents are always like being hammered into them, where you get somebody that's so confused that they have no idea who they are and continue to stay that way.
I was about to say, you also have to like understand that like there's a lot of people out there in the country, in the world, not just in the world, but also here in the country too, where their religion is like such a part of their identity, like you were just saying.
I mean, it's not just Muslim. It's
not like, oh, it's not a belief, it's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Where you could say like, okay, I believe this and you believe that, but in their mind and their heart and in their beliefs, for lack of a better word, it's not a belief. It's not like an opinion. It's not like a religion. It's a law.
Yeah, it's when faith becomes
God
fact.
actually existed on this plane, and he had this prophet.
It's when faith becomes fact, and when people get so defensive over it, then it becomes weird to me. Like, I think that anybody can believe whatever they want.
I agree.
But when it comes down to it, and like certain religions are like out there recruiting, like Jehovah's Witnesses, or they look down upon people for not sharing that religion, then it's kind of weird. And I do think like the Muslim faith, and a lot of times is so like absolute that you do get people like that, but I feel like it's much more of an internal struggle that I've seen with Muslim people that are like, our faith is their faith is pretty fucking archaic.
Yeah.
And the reality isn't. So when you're told to believe with absolution that this is right, but your reality is not reflecting that, you're going to be mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people are like, well, my parents and everybody around me that preaches this, I can't betray them. So I'll betray the reality around me or lash out at the reality around me, because that's what I've seen happen, where people are like willing to break up friendships because of this. And I'm like, at some point in time, you have to choose. Do you think for yourself, or
I can actually relate to this more than you'd think. Not necessarily to the extreme of stabbing somebody.
No.
But also some religion. Some Muslim faiths are very much more open.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
One of the, because I'm drunk and fucking personal talks. One of the things that my mother and I butt heads about a lot is faith. And, you know, she grew up Irish Catholic. And before I get into the story, I understand this is apples and oranges in comparison to what we're fucking talking about.
Absolutely.
So just
However,
put a pin on that one so I can save my ass. But I understand that, like, when she grew up and where she grew up and how she grew up, religion was a major, the church, the Catholic Church specifically, was such a cornerstone to life, not just in terms of like the day-to-day, but like it was there for the community, it was there for the people, it was what got it was one of the things that got people through a lot of hardships and troubled times. So I understand the idea of leaning heavily upon these faiths and values or teachings, beliefs, whatever, you know, etc. I understand that, but I also understand a lot has fucking changed in 70-ish years since that time frame. So it's I don't want to say constant, I'm making it sound like I'm fucking exaggerating. Cheers. But it's a struggle, and I understand that, but I understand that, like, you know, when you have somebody who's when your life, and that's such a big part of your life, of course you're gonna, you know, naturally, if for no other reason, even if it's wrong, naturally you're gonna, you know, be defensive, and you're gonna be, because it's comfortable, it's nurturing, it was there for you, it was what got you through X, Y, and Z. So on some bizarre level, I understand, but, you know, to jump somebody on stage and stab them,
Crazy, man. That's extremism. That's my point. That's my point. That's extremism.
Yeah.
The people that are running the government in Iran are extremists. And that is the big thing with a lot of Arab and Islamic countries, is exactly what the phrase I just said. I forgot what I just said.
extremists.
Being an extremist politician, you will follow the rule of the law. If God said you burn them in hell, then you burn them in hell. And they take their words literal.
And unfortunately, they get that negative stigmatism to them too.
Correct.
And of course, any of the refugees that go somewhere and then some of them try to enact Sharia law, and it's just like, no, that's not happening.
Well, Sharia law isn't, because I'm going to say this, a lot of our laws are based on religion. We don't.
The system of law is based on religion.
It's like it's like that joke from Robin Williams. It's like, we're now going to do some random checks here on the airline. These are totally random. You have your name called, please address to the front of the airplane so you can be checked. Again, these security checks are completely random.
I'm like a very firm believer. When it comes,
haven't been seen, haven't been fucked. Judy Smith.
When it comes to like religion, it shouldn't be the thing that defines you, but it should be one of the things that aid in you defining you
through your personal life.
It's like, I don't want to be the religion I'm attached to, but it should be one of the things that help build me to the person I am.
My point is I'm sorry, and that was my point, is that's why the Islamic religion and like a lot of these countries over there, man, they have no sense of time. They don't freaking care.
Well, they don't
They
like each other. A lot of like the
right,
splicing of
right.
the Muslim religion don't like each other because one is like we are very staunch believers, and the other one's like we're gonna take what we want from this religion and also like respect it. I mean, some of the people I respect most of my life are Muslim, and some of the people don't are Muslim.
Islamic religion is a Christian. It's
I've
considered
seen
a
the
Christian
entire
religion.
spectrum of Muslim believers in my own little friend circle
Yeah,
of about 4 or 5 people, and they all lie on different places, and like some of them are terrible, and some of them are awesome. Most of them are pretty good people, but like some of them use the religion or get abused by the religion. I think.
The
Yeah.
religion should be a cornerstone of your values and beliefs, but should not override you as an individual person.
correct.
I mean, there's a reason that you have the final say in what you do, and you're not a fucking robot.
Um,
Wouldn't be opposed to it though.
Be easier life.
my point was what I was the like the Catholics, the Protestants. So Islam has two different types of religions,
Mm-hmm.
two different beliefs.
Mhm.
That's the Shiites and the Sunnis.
Correct.
Actually, do you want to know what the fucking problem is? That is why all them Arab countries are over there. It's because they have two different beliefs. One is based on, it's based on Muhammad.
Mhm.
Every religion is like this, though, where they have.
Correct. But then Muhammad had two kids,
And they separated.
and they
went some
separated
ways.
in their own beliefs, and now this is what these countries are fighting over.
Jesus
this
Christ! Look
one's
how many
right.
fucking
No, this
Christians
one's
there
right.
are.
Well, I mean, yeah,
So that's
exactly. There's
why-
always like, we are the believers. No, we are the true believers. Why? Because
I am
we're
Jesus,
fucking
the
weird.
Lord of God. I am the Son of God. You shall all worship me. Well,
No.
20 of you guys just broke off for different reasons.
I mean, it's that's what it is. I mean, in the end, I have no problem with people, like I said, that adhere to a religion for certain reasons. When they adhere to a religion to run their life, when it comes to a religion that runs your life and you become just a sounding board for it, then I don't really care.
I don't want to hear you.
You're not a
And
person
that-
anymore. I might as well just pick up a Bible and put it on your face.
That is all they have, though. That's the way they are. I hate to say
Which
they.
is like
No,
that's
I
just
know
terrible.
what you're talking about.
It's it being there. That's because that's where their religion came from. Is right in that area.
It's when I see somebody that's like at this point should be a full grown person, really being challenged by the ideas they're rejecting from their religion, but the ideas that their religion expects of them, but also being challenged by the real world that they live in and not being able to make a decision for themselves. I'm like, I don't think this religion has done you any service. Yeah,
No.
it's
They don't
actually
see that way. then
no.
sometimes.
And in the end, the religion won.
Yes.
And this person doesn't feel comfortable being the person that they grew up being.
Now, do you see why the Middle East is all fucked up?
Well, I see why a lot of places are fucked up because it's
Yeah.
not just the Middle East.
It's not this Middle East.
Yeah. But
It's
it's sad to see actually happen to somebody like it. I mean, this is somebody I've known for fucking 30 years.
Stories I could tell.
I've known them for 30 years, and it's like, man, you can't even be in the same room as other people for fear of not being able to fit in. It's very strange.
I know. I'm with you. I don't disagree with you. I think religion has its extremists, but then there's other religions that are
Well, every
The
religion can
Bible?
have its extremists. Let's not kid ourselves. It's just
Every single one of them.
That's
what I'm saying. I agree
Yeah.
with you 100%.
it is what it is. I mean,
on a more positive note.
There's people out there that they're gonna walk up to me. All those tattoos and all those piercings. You're going to hell, sweet. Yeah, I booked my seat next to the devil. Have a nice day.
Cool. It's warm in there, and there'll be people out there. I know.
Bangladesh is over by India.
Ow.
Actually, they
Ow.
believe in the same religion that the people in India do. You want to know how I know that? I sat with soldiers from Bangladesh. That was a great fucking story for another day.
That's just,
I sat in a fucking goddamn. I'm gonna tell it. So we were doing police
another
action.
day. I'm
We
gonna
were
tell
doing
it.
police action down in Haiti when President Aristide, and it was a UN mission. So we were sitting there pulling guard duty on the hospital,
Story for another day. That day is today. Yep.
and the Bangladeshis released us. I had a Playboy sitting next to me.
Yes.
And that man, the Bangladeshi soldier turned to me and says, "You want to know what I masturbate to?" And showed me a picture of his wife.
Okay, now you have my attention.
I mean, okay, so
Well, no.
How deep did this conversation get?
Well, Bangladesh. I just had a story about
Aaron,
I mean, if a man turned to me and I wasn't talking to him and he saw Playboy and he said, "You know what I masturbate to?" and he showed me a photo of his wife, I'd be like, "Same thing I do."
Oh, so I'm like, I wasn't masturbating, dude. I don't masturbate out in the open. So then the conversation.
Again, don't knock it till you try it. But go ahead.
Now keep in mind, this is at 3:00 in the morning, in a country where it's 130 degrees year round, living in a fucking jungle and shit. And you're sitting there talking to a Bangladesh, and it turns into a masturbation story. I'm like, do you just want to jerk me off or what, dude?
Didn't sound like it jerked into a different direction. But go ahead.
But yeah, it was just like that meeting that. So my point is here's another extremism belief that I've seen. This guy didn't believe in the religion, because if you ask to see a picture of their wife,
if they're not wearing the shroud.
no, just in general. This is Bangladeshi.
Well, you didn't even ask for it. He just showed it to you.
Yeah, I'm saying they don't do that. Like if I walked up to you, little Mr. Bangladeshi boy, and say, "Hey, let me see a picture of your wife," or whatever. If you say, "Hey," you're talking and you show them, they will not show you a picture of their wife because they're afraid you're gonna steal her.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, like, you take people from around the world and you throw them in a shithole, and a lot of them are the fucking same. It's just what happens. A lot of them are the fucking same.
So that was my story.
Big Brother, Real World.
Yeah, well, those are all fakes.
That is a horrible fucking example. I just realized that as soon as that came out of my mouth.
But that's the story. That's just the connection.
I mean, this is why I'll bring it back to fucking Band of Brothers. And halfway through that, you've got the American troops talking about the Germans. It's like, you know what? If we met in different circumstances, probably be good friends.
Yes.
Bottom line is, most people are the same.
Actually, during Christmas time, Germans and American soldiers sat there and
ceasefire and fucking sang
and
to each other.
Soccer.
Yeah.
The battle at the con.
I'm going to shoot you tomorrow.
That's my story.
A score.
I really need to have my mic shut off about the same time I'm cut off from drinks.
And that is never.
Red Solo Cup.
I know.
I fill you up.
What is that fucking band that wears red Solo
gone.
cups on their head?
Oh,
No,
80s, right?
Yeah, Devo?
Fuck, I know what you're talking
Devo?
Whip it real good.
Devo.
Yeah, Devo.
But you know what the best decade was? It was the 90s.
Yes, it was. God damn it.
Is that your segue there, big dog?
Listen, it's the only fucking good segue I'm gonna have the entire fucking night, and I'm really hammered, so I'm
Getting
trying to
rid
take
of
my victories
Salman
while I fucking
Rushdie.
can. What?
I said I'm getting rid of Salman Rushdie.
Thank you. You
From
could have done
the
that a long time ago. I'm tired of looking at that fucking lazy eye, not thinking and staring at the fucking snack machine.
And he's saying, and he's looking at you going, fuck it.
So we talked about this.
Let's talk about the 90s.
90s were fucking great, man.
I know. I lived them.
Great music, great movies, great video games.
I was an adult.
I mean, the music.
That's when I became an adult.
The music was.
I can
became
rent a
an adult.
truck.
I became an adult October 11th, 1980. No, that's not true because I was only 8.
That's when you became an adult.
1990.
My third ball dropped when I was 8.
Don't try to do math right now. Let's just.
It's 1990. October 11th, 1990. I turned 18.
So this whole conversation started on a random
Yes.
stream of us watching Heather play with. Never mind. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
With their cat, is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, but I would have replaced some of the words.
The stream where I was playing with my pussy apparently was on Basement's mind.
Yes, that was the one.
What do you guys do when I go to bed?
I played Stray,
Yeah,
the video game Stray.
I know. Get your fucking hands off me. I'm just kidding.
So yes, she was playing the fucking cat game, and we were talking about. Well, I think I was talking about the movies and shit like that, and then it was like referring to the difference between the movies that come out today, and the big hoopla that these fucking movie industries do about like, hey, it's not only is it going to be a summer blockbuster, but we're going to have 2 black people in it, and several gays. It's like. And then I was like, you know what? I remember watching fucking movies in the 80s and the 90s. And they were pretty fucking inclusive. Like, I think I brought up RoboCop. Because RoboCop has a bunch of fucking black people and white people. And it's just... It's more about the story of the movie than it is about...
They're in the background, yes.
But
I
it's
mean-
usually RoboCop fucking breaking them in half and throwing them over a building.
Well, no, like I mean, there's black guys that are bad guys. There's black guys that are good guys, and they're like,
The police captain himself was a black guy.
yeah. So, and I mean, that's not like you look at things like Lethal Weapon. You look at other movies that existed during the time. It was never really like, hooray for us, we have diversity. Well, I don't know when that became a thing because it's so out of it's so out of place.
What I was going to ask. It's like, when did they not have representation in movies and shows?
When people started fucking making it a bigger deal than it needed to be.
Like, it doesn't make it.
Right around the time Trump got into office, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, all of
before.
a sudden, like, the world was like a horribly racist and phobic way in every like they were phobias up the ass. It's like, oh, you don't like people with large noses, you've got a fucking phobia.
I really think that when Obama took office,
That's when it
it
really
started turning, because then there's like, well,
We got a black president now. We need
well,
more representation everywhere else.
Well, and I think that was, and you get people behind that idea, extremists. You get behind that fucking idea, and then they just like, well, everybody's got to be that way. If you don't agree with what I agree with, then you're a racist.
But
or a piece of
the thing that pissed me off is like we don't have the representation of like black people in film, and we don't have the representation of strong female characters in film, which is complete bullshit. Terminator 2. What did that do? Sarah Connor was a fucking doing pull-ups. She was introduced doing pull-ups in a fucking insane asylum.
Psychiatric hospital.
Yes. And she was a fucking beast in that movie. And then you also had the black guy that actually was the starting point of Skynet that would go on to like obliterate the world. But he was also heavily featured in that movie too. So it's like I don't really get the idea that everything was terribly racist up until today, which is just not. It was just not. It's categorically untrue if you lived during the 80s and 90s.
You're correct.
I will say that, like, if you look at some of the, if you look at some of the cartoons in the 50s, okay,
The 50s and 60s and
That's cool,
70s, you could see that.
Okay.
No, 70s less. 50s and 60s for sure.
But yeah, I don't think that the 90s or 80s and 90s were not the case. I think what I think it is, it's a, for lack of a better phrase, because I can't think because I'm drunk. It's a Karen. It's like a Karen thing. It's like these people aren't being represented. This is that, and blah blah blah. It's like fine.
When did we
Jesus
start
fucking Christ,
listening
you
to
know.
fucking dickheads? Like the world listens to nothing but dickheads now.
I don't listen to dickheads.
The
Okay.
world does, apparently.
I know.
I mean, it's gone so far now that
They
they've
do.
actually changed the standards that a movie needs to follow in order to win an Oscar.
They have check boxes. How many of this do you have? How many of this do you have? Which makes no fucking sense. How are you going to make anything that actually makes... I'm going to make a historical drama. Well, they better have half Asians. It's like it's set in fucking Iowa.
Favorite. I just watched a Bill Burr special recently where he's like, everyone's like, if I lived 50 years ago, I would be, or not 50 years ago, maybe more than that. 80 years ago, I you know, they act like they're gonna be like, oh, I'd be the first ones in line to help with like the Underground Railroad and all this stuff and blah blah blah. And he's like, you know, I would give up my day and I would risk my life. It's like, no, you do the exact same thing that you're doing fucking now, which is absolutely fucking nothing.
No, actually, they'd be the first in line for a freaking 5-bedroom house at only $80,000.
But
I'd fucking kill a person for that.
the thing that kills me, like, too, and this is where I fucking hate current day everything. Because, like, now it's like, well, oh my god, we've got
They
to...
help themselves more than to help anybody else.
We've got this great representation going on, so all the kids are going to be able to see themselves in the heroes. What the fuck? I was a kid. And I didn't only adhere to the characters that were representing me as a white male.
I mean,
I fucking loved Danny Glover was my favorite in Lethal Weapon. It didn't.
Okay. So I have done this, and I've done this. I did this as a kid in 1980.
Write a good character. It doesn't matter what color they are.
I understand that, but it came. Well, I mean, there was a character in a movie, and I can't remember. It was a superhero movie, and he was black, and I didn't.
Blank Man.
Like, how come he's a good guy? And that's just, you know, that was it. You think it's actually, it's not ingrained. My mom smacked me in the back of the head when I did it. Like, she hated it. Like, my mom, she said, I use the N-word in that house, my mom would probably suplex me at 70.
Good.
If I was walking around.
I would pay money to see that. Not you using the word, but your mother suplexing you at 70.
Yes.
No, I'm just showing. I'm telling you how mad my mom got. But I'm like, I don't understand. Don't they have to all be a certain... And I had those thoughts, but this is why I don't think like that anymore.
But it might just be like the era in which you grew up. And that's what I'm saying for like the 80s and 90s.
But that's what I'm getting at. But the 80s and 90s, they did kind of start introducing, which is a good thing, but it wasn't, hey, he wasn't the main character, he was a side character. If he was the main character, so I'm the person, like when I look at Marvel or anything, I've known Batman and Superman, Iron Man, Captain America, they were all Caucasian. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they changed Captain America to black. Imagine the confusion.
Well, they did.
But this is kind of like what I'm saying.
They did the same thing with Green Lantern, too.
I'm joking.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, I can understand that's where I would be like, why are you?
That's the current day way of like dealing with racism or dealing with race, which makes no sense to me.
If he would have started, if he was started as a black character,
I don't even mind that, to be honest with you.
So, for instance,
I like continuity.
By today's fucking gauge of what I should like. Watching Rush Hour and Rush Hour 2, I should hate those movies because I don't see myself in them. Yet if they took Rush Hour and Rush Hour
That's-
2 and took Jackie Chan and Chris Rock out of it and cast fucking Whitey McGee
Like,
1 and 2, I'd be like, what the fuck? This is
Horrible.
not
Oh,
Rush
no,
Hour.
100% agree with you.
I don't mind representation. I'm all for representation. I don't even mind them doing something like, I'm all in favor of them making Sam
Night of
Wilson
the
the
Living
Captain
Dead.
America, or
That
even
was
make
fucking perfect. Sorry.
no. I'm just saying is that like my point is that I'm fine with them like having a character being represented or a character representing a certain culture or type or fine, awesome. As long as it makes sense and it's not just a clear push of that's the reason we're doing this.
And I
Like
think
the
that's
Sam Wilson-
everybody that, like, I mean, yes, there's a small few that are fucking weird supremacists, but the people that are upset with a lot of the gender swap and and race swap, it's not that, it's just not the character. And I mean, to Alpha's point, I remember watching Night of the Living Dead and being in love with it, where the fucking guy's like, they're coming to get you, and then he falls on the fucking grave and dies and becomes a zombie. And one of the best fucking the best character in that movie is a black man.
Yep.
Okay.
But I didn't give a fucking flying shit if he was
I
anything.
yeah,
Like, as a
exactly.
kid, it doesn't.
don't-
This is where I don't understand. Like, it's these adult weirdos that are like, my kid needs to see this because my kid needs to know that they're valued. Your kid actually is smarter than you because they see a character before they see skin color, you dumb bitch.
I mean, it's easy for me to say this as a white male, so I'm just pointing out the obvious here, and I'm not trying to speak on anyone else's behalf here on the call. But that being said, you know, I like the idea of somebody who may not have been able to relate to somebody else fictionally or like look up to, and you know, I'm just saying is that I don't mind it as much. The bottom line is I don't mind it as much as long as that is not the primary reason for their existence, or that is not the primary reason for their push. If their character or they have more to them to offer to them as far as the story than stuff, fine. I'm all in favor of it.
When Hollywood
if you
starts to
just,
tell
like-
me that, like, I need characters to be certain colors to relate to them, then they're completely wrong. Whoever said that
that's
is
my
dumb
point.
as
That is my
fucking
point,
shit,
yes.
because it
I
has
agree.
nothing to. The character. We're not inherently like terribly racist people as a whole. Character sells people, not the color of their skin, and we inherently
Right.
know this. But you're trying to tell us that we are a different fucking species. Like, the few fucking extremists, just like in religion, don't create the whole. Stop,
they don't.
Stop trying to fucking change things for changes. And then anytime you're like, well, this didn't need to happen because this is existing property, you can turn Indiana Jones into an Asian person in a wheelchair. What's the point? What is the point? Can't swing from ropes. It's a wheelchair.
It's.
Let's go get that
I
story.
can see that Indiana Jones movie. Where's the freaking little jet? Well, this is as far as I can take you, Indiana.
He gets
Why
to-
did it have to be snakes?
he gets to the hidden maze or whatever, and it's like, doesn't have wheelchair access. He's like, well, I'm out. And the credits
There's
just
no
roll.
fucking ramps.
The credits just roll.
Oh,
But like, I mean,
God.
that's like the level of stupidity that they've gotten, where they make
That's what we're getting to. Yes.
they make people feel. They've actually successfully made people feel like they're racist. That aren't.
Exactly. This is another reason why I hate fucking. Because I fear anyone making a good movie. Because this is why I'm afraid to go to movies in general and spend $20 on it, because I'm afraid I'm gonna walk into that fucking movie and it could be something that I want to see, and then they just this other character that's not even the main character, whether it doesn't matter his color of his skin, becomes the focus of a certain. How do I explain this? You get an A-list actor who's only a side character in the movie, and they make him the focus of the fucking movie. That's what's wrong with fucking movies today.
Well, they fucked themselves over, because once they made people focus on inclusion and shit, then they can't not do it. The funny part is, though, when they do it, everybody and their fucking mother's like, well, they're doing it, and you don't care about the product. The most popular TV shows and movies, I'm gonna say, in the last 20 years haven't given a flying shit about that.
Ow.
I mean, I watched Breaking Bad. I watched Better Call Saul. None of those don't give a shit about
How
representation.
is that show? I've been meaning to watch that, to be honest. Sorry, I'm getting off topic.
It's very good.
I think
They
JP pissed himself. What?
His neck is spasming.
I thought he said asakalikum.
My neck just went like this on me. That's what I was doing. I think I was going retarded.
What?
I think I was going retarded for a minute.
It happens to the best of us. But yeah, I mean, in the end, I just don't like the push to. Hollywood has always been like a very pat myself on the back environment.
Yes,
Like,
I know,
I'm doing
I know.
great. Hey, the little guy. By the way, I own 17 houses, most of them run by slaves. Fucking
Okay.
eat my dick. No, these.
I mean,
like,
I don't mind the push for like.
It's just so blatantly. It's done like an advertisement. They do everything like an advertisement.
Because they're black, or this person's here because they're a transgender. Or
All you have to say.
I get that. It's also I get that. It's kind of also a marketing thing, which I can sort of understand.
It's a marketing thing if you sell to that market, but you.
Well, of course they're going to.
Yeah, but they're
my
also going to
point is
fucking
that
shoot
I'm-
themselves in the dick when they do certain things that are blatant and terrible.
Yes, my point. Sorry, I just pictured like Sam Wilson. Oh, he's Captain America. Why is he going to KFC? Ew. The point is that like
He preferred Popeyes.
gonna say it.
no, fucking Popeye sucks dick.
No, Popeyes. Me and Ray Shaw will die on that hill
fuck
together.
you. Popeyes is no,
No,
KFC's better.
KFC is like liquid fucking
Fun food.
We're gonna do
ass.
this again, aren't we?
No, I'm done.
Hold on. Point first off, first pin. If fine, they're gonna market, they're gonna push that. Fine. If there's at least something of substance there that I can get behind, where it's like, okay, like yes, we understand that what we're doing. We're understanding that we're pushing this for, the X reason, but there's some substance and depth to it that I can get behind from a story or character perspective. Then fine, I can somewhat forgive that. That being said, fucking KFC is better than Popeyes.
Okay, so this is our Falcon and Winter Soldier chat, and this is
yes.
this is also why I say Hollywood has kind of relied on it being a selling point, not realizing that it's not a selling point for everybody. Like you don't need to tell me
the hard way.
it's like, hey, watch our show. We've got a bunch of fucking men having sex and a bunch of everybody under the sun, and it's like, what is the show called? Schindler's List. It's like, what? What? I thought there was a bigger theme to this. It's like, no, there's a bunch of men fucking each other. We've got at least 18 black people and 17 Asians. It's like, what?
Yeah, go all through glory holes.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Cross them off the list as you go.
I just want to interject, Ronnie, when you listen to this while you're doing your spreadsheets for work, I'm sorry.
I'm not. Keep going.
I guess I apologize. I have to now. I'm a white man. I'm a 30-year-old white man.
Portion of no bucks given.
I'm a 30-year-old white man. All I do is say sorry, and I'm from Canada.
Alpha, I love you, but respectfully,
I'm only apologizing because she's going to be laughing so hard listening to just this portion of No Bucks Given. She's not going to get any work done.
no, fine. Alpha, I love you. Respectfully, I disagree with you. Okay, I will say Popeyes has a couple of sides that are better, but no, KFC is.
I can't even say their biscuits are better.
Yeah, the biscuits are pretty good.
I'm also very hammered, so
KFC is like, how would you like to drink oil? Also, we serve chicken.
Same shit.
No, it has
oil.
Popeyes has like no oil. It's all like, do you like cornflakes?
Good.
Water. I apologize.
It's all cornflakes and chicken.
Cornflakes and chicken.
They put in chicken. I can't.
I don't know. It feels like cornflakes.
Anyway, the '90s were great.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, the movies just didn't. They just featured people and had nothing to. The storyline was more important than, hey, we've got a transgender hermaphrodite. I guess that's the same thing, almost. Not
I'm
really.
trying to think of a movie. mean, you said a couple of them in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, well, you've got a
Lethal
ton in the
Weapon.
90s. Lethal
And
Weapon,
I watched those movies. I
RoboCop.
didn't so much care for them, but I get what you're saying. They didn't force anything down your
I
throat.
mean, even Total Recall had representation.
So
and it had
I
nothing
did
to do with like the.
I did a quick little poll of the top grossing movies of 1990 through 1999.
Titanic is number one. I can tell you.
It
that.
is not.
I don't
Not
think
anymore.
Titanic had a black person in it.
Yeah, they did.
Titanic is the top grossing
Okay.
overall, but actually, hold on. Fuck this list. Hold on. No, I was gonna say I thought Titanic would be actually.
This is
Here you
a
go.
lie.
50 highest grossing movies of the 90s worldwide. You are right, JP, because I was like looking at this list. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Titanic is number one at from 1997. Once this link wants to actually fucking load.
Fucking
I'm
Dust
loaded.
Till Dawn. A little black guy in that. I mean, he died. So did
There
everybody.
was
Jurassic
also a bunch of
Jurassic
Latinos
Park.
in that movie.
Uh-huh.
What's that?
Jurassic
From Dust
Park.
Till Dawn.
Samuel L. Jackson was in it.
Yep.
Yeah, but with
Hold
that
on to your
movie, there was
butts.
also a bunch of Latinos in that
I
movie.
mean, Samuel L. Jackson.
So
did
there was
manage.
that representation.
I mean,
Friday,
what the
next
fuck is Jeff
Friday,
Goldblum?
Friday after next.
Hey, shut your mouth. Jeff Goldblum is a fucking national treasure.
I'm assuming
right?
he's Jewish, but he is
What
also like.
nationality he is. I think he's Italian.
Didn't Jurassic Park come out in 1990?
Yes.
Three.
I don't know. I can feel
93.
the
Jurassic Park was
tingle.
number 2.
I can feel the tingle down in my gold booms.
Life finds a way.
Here's my chest.
Greatest actor of all time. Lion King, number 3. At
They were all black
released-
in The Lion King, from my understanding,
Yes.
except for Jonathan
There's
Taylor
a lot of
Thomas.
Swahili.
except for Zazu. You know who voiced Zazu in fucking Lion King?
He's
Do
dead.
you know why? Do you know
No, he's
why?
not.
Do you know why?
Gilbert Gottfried?
No, that's Iago.
No,
Who's Iago?
the meerkat and the fucking pig.
Okay, hold on.
Who's
The
Zazu?
meerkat is Nathan Lane, who we knew from the producers. Zazu, the toucan, is fucking Mr. Bean.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. Rowan Atkinson. Look it up.
I will. Not.
Who's the?
You're the only one sober on this entire
Oh,
call,
yeah.
so you're the best one to do this.
Pumbaa.
The original voice of
Pumbaa
Zazu
is the
from
white
The
guy.
Lion King in '94 was Rowan Atkinson, who is Mr. Bean.
I feel like you're wrong.
I'm gonna.
I'm
look it up.
drunk, so there's a 50-50 shot at that.
I'm looking it up right now. Lion
Okay.
King. I thought it was not him.
Mm-mm. Nathan Lane was the meerkat.
God
Timon.
damn you, son of a bitch.
Yeah, fuck off. Yeah. Rowan Atkinson was Zazu.
Yeah, but then you had James Earl Jones, Mufasa,
Yep.
perfect, best voice
Yep.
ever. Robert Gilliam as Rafiki. Matthew Broderick, Simba.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Fucking Matthew Broderick
Adult
was
Simba.
fucking older Simba.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas was the.
Whoopi
I
Goldberg.
just can't wait till Dad dies. Dun, 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 dun. I apologize for
Whoopi
everybody. Ronnie, I'm
Goldberg
sorry.
was fucking one of the
One of the
yeah.
hyenas. That's right. Yeah.
Jeremy
Yeah,
Irons'
um,
Scar, so good.
My fat cannot handle this chair. Number 4 of top 90s grossing movies was Star Wars Episode 1. I mean, that's no shock there.
Yeah.
Shot entirely
Independence-
on a blue screen.
Yeah.
Misa, love that. Independence Day 1996 was number 5 top
I love
grossing movie
that
in the 90s.
Another
Hey,
good
also starred a black
Will
man
Smith.
and his family that were also black.
Ironically, he also slapped the aliens.
And an
Number
illegal
6.
alien. So there's Mexicans in this shit too.
Pissed my pants a little bit.
God damn it, I have one drink left and it's fucking loaded. All right, number 6, Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, the Bubba Shrimp, black
Yep.
man in that. They had
I'm not
legless.
saying it-
There was
I'm not
legless.
saying it did. I'm not saying it didn't deserve this spot. I'm just surprised it did because it's one of those movies where it's like
I'm not in love with this movie.
I know a lot of people were not in love with this movie, but
I
that
like
was
it.
only after they had gone and seen it.
I thought it was good, but it was like people were fucking suckling on fucking his
Like,
ball sack,
yeah.
and I was like,
I
I,
mean,
don't know about this.
I still loved it, but anyway, The Sixth Sense.
Hold on. Who was sucking on whose ball sack?
You know.
That got JP's
I
attention.
gotta go pee. I'm gonna listen to the rest of it.
Good time.
So everybody was suckling on Tom Hanks'
I'm
ball
sorry,
sack
suckling
for
on a
this
ball
movie.
sack.
They're like, "Oh my god, best movie ever!" But I didn't think like Tom
Oh,
Hanks like
I thought
fucking.
I thought you were talking about the people that he was, the movie, throughout the
Actually,
movie.
I should probably pee too.
Nobody was suckling on anybody's
Nobody suckled
balls.
anybody's ball sack. It was
Again,
a fine
don't knock
movie,
until
but
you try it.
it was a fine movie, but it wasn't like this. Like when I watched it, people were like, "Oh my god, you got to see this! Best thing ever." It wasn't the best thing ever.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was a fun
I
movie.
enjoyed it too, and this was like in a time where movies could be movies without having to like fill quotas.
Yeah.
I mean, it did have like him through history and the terrible like manipulation of JFK. Because he was like talking to JFK at some point, and like they put his mouth in.
You didn't like that stuff?
Well, I liked it. It was just like looking back at it now, it looked terrible.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but I mean, not
But
the worst.
the story, I think they did a pretty good job of writing the story.
I do too. I like the fact that for the most part, it's a lighthearted movie, but it does have its emotional like hits, both good and bad. And I mean, Tom Hanks. Say what you will about Tom Hanks, I think Tom Hanks is an incredible actor.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I just wish he'd shut the fuck up.
I also wish that like he didn't. Not every movie you have to make has to be 3 hours, man.
True.
Just cut some time off of it.
I mean, another movie that's out there, I think, came out in 1990. Nope, that came out in 86. That's Platoon. Sorry.
Platoon's great.
I heard what you said as I was walking away. And I'm gonna say this right now with the movie Forrest Gump. Jenny was suckling on plenty of fucking balls through that movie.
That's not what I thought he was talking about throughout the movie. The characters were suckling.
No, I feel like at this point in time in his like,
I was just confused.
In his career, it was like they couldn't get off his nutsack.
Who?
Yeah, still
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. It was just like, oh my god, anything touches his Midas is gold. And I will say, not entirely untrue, but not entirely true.
You know when he was really big? When he made the movie Big. That was probably...
I actually think he was terrible in Big. Because like he's supposed to be like a 12-year-old kid, but he acts like a retarded 3-year-old.
No, you're right. But what I'm saying,
give him an award.
He got. I think Tom Hanks did a good job of not getting typecasted.
So Forrest Gump was number 6, top grossing movie in the 90s. Number 7 was The Sixth Sense. I had to like really take my time in pronouncing that one because I'm really fucking loaded.
Good movie.
I figured that movie out like in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I did too. But
Lost World Jurassic Park, which was the sequel. That
oh
was
my god,
8.
Gymnastics.
What?
You know if
his
you know.
Daughter. His daughter in that movie. She was on the gymnastics team and she quit.
Who?
Jeff Goldblum's daughter.
Jeff Goldblum's black daughter. Again.
Jurassic
again,
Hey, this is the best part. Okay,
Jurassic.
Jurassic, fucking Lost World. He's got a black daughter. There's one line in this movie where he's like, "I don't see the resemblance," and then they just leave it.
Yeah.
They don't harp on it forever. He's got like a black daughter that got cut from the gymnastics teams, and later she fucking does the fucking gymnastic bars.
That right there.
She kills raptors with her gymnastics.
Jurassic World.
Yeah. Lost World.
Lost World.
Number 9 was Men in Black.
Black lead again.
Yep.
See?
And
that actually had a Mexican that was an alien, hence the illegal alien joke. It comes full circle, yes. I'm telling you. It's like, if you're an alien coming from space, why would you pose as a Mexican trying to get into America?
I'm too drunk to think of anything clever right now.
Absolutely the worst idea you could have as an alien trying to get into the U.S. Let me pose as a Mexican.
I'm hiding in plain sight.
You fly a spaceship, motherfucker.
Number 10 was Armageddon.
I can
agree with that one.
I mean, I don't want to close my eyes. That had a very weird scene. Did anybody else think the scene with like the little fucking animal crackers and her father singing to them while they're having like weird sexual animal cracker sex.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, that creeped me out too.
Yeah.
And then him like damn near crying and
Listen,
touching the screen while he's falling down on the fucking thing. Like,
It's like, do you think anybody else is doing this right now?
to their
Fuck,
daughters.
I hope not.
Number 11 was Terminator 2, Judgment
Oh,
Day,
so good.
I can agree with
It
that.
was a good movie.
91. Number 12 was Ghost.
Can believe it.
Who
That's
doesn't
when
want that?
Whoopi Goldberg. Really
Yeah, Whoopi
fucking
Goldberg,
took off.
Patrick Swayze.
She won an
Demi Lovato.
Oscar. She won a fucking Oscar.
Whoopi Goldberg won an Oscar?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for best supporting actress.
Because I don't think that was.
Have you ever
Number-
seen Ghost?
I've seen it multiple times.
Number 13 was Aladdin, one of my
Really
favorite
good. Aladdin's
favorite
so
Disney
good.
movies.
I mean, this is the era of Disney fucking killing it. Because Lion
Yeah.
King is incredibly good. Aladdin is incredibly good.
Speaking of which, Toy Story 2 coming in at number 14. Twister? Really? At number 15? Fuck
Yeah,
I
off.
can believe it, yeah.
I mean,
It was a blockbuster.
Twister was
It
a
was
movie that was. It was a movie,
Twister was
all
a
right.
movie.
No, it just like.
This one,
It's another hype movie, I think, more than
the
it's-
next one, as I touch my screen, thinking it's a touch screen.
I thought it was all right.
The next movie, which I touch with my fucking monitor, thinking it's a touch screen. Number 16, Saving Private Ryan. I feel like that should be higher.
How is that not higher than fucking Forrest
Yeah,
Gump?
that's what I was just fucking
Now
saying.
was a time when not everybody wanted to see a war movie.
It's
Yeah.
gross too. It's also the gross amount of movie.
I mean,
It's-
it's very sad watch. Vin Diesel was in it, and he talked about family before he got shot and died horribly.
That was such a good
Orlando
movie.
Bloom was in that. No, that was Black Hawk Down. Never mind. Sorry.
Number 17, Home Alone. Classic.
Macaulay.
Number 18, The Matrix.
I believe it.
The Matrix did less than fucking Home Alone.
I was gonna say I thought that would have been higher.
Not by
I
much.
mean, The Matrix had fucking weird ass fucking fetish shit, latex everywhere. They had
not by much.
Morpheus, which is a black
Hey.
man. Like that's what
Listen,
I'm saying. Like
that movie,
We're-
the Matrix movie had me wearing a trench coat throughout all of high school, for better or for
oh
worse.
man,
so.
for worse for sure. God damn it.
Oh, it was. I have photos. You don't want to see them.
I don't. I will think less
No,
of you.
you
I
don't.
will think less of you. So do not show
You
them
do-
to
you,
me.
no. I had a gothic phase.
Oh,
and just,
no, it's best to hide that away forever.
no,
It's me in a
no.
trench coat with mascara on,
With-
and
oh, yep.
I am the one.
Wait. The baggy fucking Hot Topic pants with chains
Jenko
on them?
pants or whatever the fuck they were with like.
Yep.
Oh man, that is the worst. You know what? Like I went through high school basically being like a 40-year-old man.
Well,
So did I, basically. So did I.
keep in mind, I was in a Catholic private school, so I was trying to
Be the
I
one.
don't want to say rebel, but like
I watched this movie. Now it's me.
The Crow? The Crow might made it on this list somehow.
I thought Crow was 80s.
I don't know. It might have been like 91
Early
or
90s,
something.
actually.
I want to say it's like 91 or something.
But as far as gross, Matrix did 463 million.
Oh, we're looking at like money makers. So it's like Crow
right.
might not be
It's
there.
gross. How much? Home Alone did 476 million, so it's not by
Much
it's
at
not by
all.
much. Mission Impossible, number 20.
That was the weirdest fucking movie I've ever seen. Going into it being like, hey, they market it like James Bond, and then I watched it and I didn't know what the fuck was going on
Great
because I
thing
was
is
a
trench coat.
kid and dumb as shit.
Well, Alpha, I have tons of photos that will fucking creep you out. They creep me out. 21 was Tarzan.
With Brendan Fraser?
No, that's George of the Jungle. This is the 1999 animated Disney movie.
Okay, yeah.
Damn, that was 99.
Yeah,
Mrs. Doubtfire was number 22.
of course it was.
Number 23, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, that was excellent too.
Yeah.
I mean, these
Dances-
Disney movies are the best Disney
Yet to
movies.
find a movie that I hate on here.
Dances with Wolves was number 24.
On that movie.
Okay, that one did it. I'm bored. That bored me.
The Mummy, number 25. That's
Brendan
the one. with
Fraser.
Brendan Fraser. I don't give a shit. I will defend that movie. I love that movie.
That was a very fun movie. That's better than all the things that tried to copy it, including Uncharted.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna talk about the sequels, but I love that movie.
I
The
like
Bodyguard.
But the sequels that had Brendan Fraser in it, I did not mind. It's when they went to Tom Cruise as Brendan Fraser.
Oh, that was like the universal take on it. It's not the same. That's not the same.
I will say that the Tom Cruise Mummy movie was obviously nowhere near as good as the Brendan Fraser one by a landslide.
It was not a good movie, man. Don't even try.
I didn't mind it. I'm not saying it was horrible.
What was your favorite part? Where Tom Cruise was a 50-year-old man masquerading as a 22-year-old man?
The credits.
Fucking garbage. It's like, hey, it's the Mummy. She's a super hot model. Cool. That's what everybody needed.
No, I at least appreciate them trying to do something somewhat different with it.
You appreciate them trying
to make a movie. As my credit to the movie goes.
So you know what? They did a good job trying to make a movie. That's not really a clap.
It's not a sentence.
Number 20, I didn't say it was. Number 26 is The Bodyguard.
Yeah, I could see that with Whitney Houston as the lead.
But that was actually a pretty good movie.
Toy Story, the original Toy Story at number 27. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves at number 28 with Kevin Costner.
That movie is good. It's like I look back at it and I'm like, but I still love it.
The 1998 version of Godzilla, and the only reason I can say that I can understand.
I actually enjoyed this movie.
I did. Well,
I was going to say, I remember them fucking promoting this movie out the ass at the time. I remember this being everywhere.
I don't care what anybody says, but every other Godzilla movie that followed this wasn't as good as this.
It was good, but you know what? It wasn't as good as this, but I still enjoyed Godzilla 2000.
Which one was that?
God damn.
With Matthew Broderick.
This is the Matthew Broderick
that's
version.
what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. That's the one we're talking about.
Heather's like, yeah.
I mean,
that is the Matthew Broderick version.
This one, like in comparison to the ones that followed, it's just better. It's not a good movie, but it's better than those.
Number 30 was True Lies.
True Lies is a great movie.
I like that one.
It's a good movie.
31, There's Something About Mary.
You know what? Enjoyed it when I saw it.
Worn out on it.
Yeah, it was worn out.
So if you watch it,
watch it one time and you're done.
No, I can watch it I can watch it.
Right now it feels like just like a beat up pussy.
What?
It is, but it's a good movie. It's not bad.
Wait, what did you say, Basement?
Nothing. You can record nothing.
Number 32 is The Fugitive.
Yeah, that's because of Harrison.
Number 33, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Number 34.
Die Hard with a Vengeance. Is that the second one?
With Samuel L. Jackson, I believe, right?
You know what I don't get? A lot of people the first one I think is the best. A lot of people put the second one over the third one. I think the third one was better than the second one.
I agree with you, actually.
Yeah, I absolutely loved the dynamic between Samuel L. Jackson and fucking Die Hard.
Number 30.
Just know that he ate snakes on a motherfucking plane.
Almost anything with Samuel L. Jackson I'll watch. Number 34.
Yeah, go ahead.
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Of course.
Number 35, Notting Hill. Number 36, A Bug's Life. Number 37, The World Is Not Enough. That is the Pierce Brosnan. I believe it's the last.
Is that the one where he surfs on waves that are definitely not in the same scene as him?
I think you're right.
And the invisible car that is definitely not in the same scene.
I actually like Pierce Brosnan as fucking James Bond.
He's a perfect James Bond. He's better than fucking Rottweiler face.
I can vouch for this right now. I have never seen a James Bond movie.
You're missing out. I think
we got a round table.
No.
Never seen.
See what you started with the shit.
not happening.
I could be wrong, but I think JP would honestly enjoy the James Bond
I
movies.
mean, Octopussy.
Yeah, the name alone.
Mm-hmm.
Number 38,
Just ask the
American Beauty.
That was a really good movie. That's
That's a weird fucking movie.
No, it's a really good movie in my mind.
It's good, but it's weird. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of like
I like the way it's shot. That's where I stop.
I was about to say. You just really like did a hard. I like how it was shot.
Won an Oscar
I
for
mean, I
best-
like the way it's like put together, man. The movie is put together very well. Suck my dick.
It's definitely it's a different movie, so you have to like.
It's a weird movie, yes. Right.
This doesn't sound very fucking pretentious. If you get it, it's great. If you don't, it's shit.
Yeah, but it's not even
Right,
a
I
hard.
hate-
It's not a hard movie to get.
No, but like
Like
Some
this is what
people
kills me.
don't.
I'm sorry, but this is what kills me now. Movies come out and they're not that difficult to understand or at least interpret to a certain way. But then you have a million people on YouTube being like, "Ending explained." It's like, holy fucking Christ! Is the rest of the world retarded? I don't understand. Ending explained. It's an end game. Ending explained.
all
Well,
about
I'm
that clickbait,
pretty
baby.
sure we got it.
it's all about that clickbait. I'm almost done with this list. Number 39 was Apollo 13. I remember that getting a lot of hype.
Huge back then.
Basic Instinct was number 40.
We all know why.
We all know why.
GoldenEye, number 41. Number 42 was The Mask.
How was
Love that movie.
GoldenEye ranked?
That's
highest?
are you talking about the Eric Stoltz and Cher one?
Pierce Brosnan.
The Mask.
Oh, The Mask. Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. Okay.
Eric Stoltz, The Mask, has
Well,
James
have you ever-
Bond in The Face is Not Enough.
Listen, I can't. The face is not enough.
Oh, his face is like way too fucking long.
Speed, number 43. Deep Impact.
What the hell
number
is
40
Bead?
Speed.
Oh.
With Sandra Bullock and Keanu
Speed,
Reeves.
for some reason.
Whoa, this bus can't go any slower than 65.
Well, got 18 beats in my asshole. Don't take them all out at once. Bead.
Deep Impact at number 44. Pocahontas, number 45. That's interesting.
I like that movie.
The Flintstones, number 46.
Oh,
Holy
God, what a pile of shit that
You know what?
was.
But I remember there was a lot of promotional push for that movie.
And there was also, it's a kids movie. Get it?
The casting was actually pretty good.
Oh, the
John
cat-
Goodman, Rick Moranis,
on for
Rosie
that.
O'Donnell, Halle Berry.
I-
Batman Forever, number 47.
Is that the nipples? Is that the nipples?
No. Batman and Robin was all nipples.
Oh,
Although, I have to go back and watch that one.
there might be
I have to
nipples.
watch it
Piper
intensely.
did not have nipples on her catsuit.
Who?
Well, now I have to watch. Number 48, The Rock. Number 49, Tomorrow.
I love The
Never-
Rock.
The Rock loves you. Number 49, Tomorrow Never Dies. And number 50, Seven.
7
That
was good.
was a good fucking.
That was a good.
That's
There's-
not a depressing movie, to be honest.
It is. It is. Well, it's a guy.
Yeah,
It's about a serial killer. It's actually a pretty good movie, though. It's a
it
great
is a
story.
good movie. I agree.
There's one movie I'm surprised is not on there.
What's that?
Pulp Fiction.
Well, this is a movie about what made the most money.
Yeah, that was the top grossing. That was the 50 top grossing movies in the
Did
90s.
the 50 best movies
Big
of the
movie.
90s.
It was another highly promoted movie.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
A lot of people won Oscars. People went to fucking see it, and that's what
All
they
right,
did.
now on to the top 100 TV shows of the 90s. I'm fucking kidding.
Dude,
No way.
you know what movie I actually like? I secretly love is from Dusk Till Dawn.
I do too.
Like the
Yeah,
first
that
half of
movie
that
is
movie is incredible. It's actually
Yeah.
like sets up really well, and then
Yes.
it's just like, hey, fuck it. Here's a guy with a
Yeah,
dick for a gun.
Let the mayhem fucking begin. And that's what I love.
That is a great movie.
You seen the second one?
I saw the TV show.
Oh my God.
For fuck's sake. I saw this. I mean, but like, you know what? This is the best. From Dusk Till Dawn 1 is the best acting performance from Quentin Tarantino in any of his movies.
Yes.
Because
And George Clooney, I would say.
George
Yeah,
Clooney.
Yeah, I'd actually
is
agree with
awesome, actually, in that. And Salma Hayek and the Snake.
I guess the reason I love the night, or I reminisce about the '90s, is because of the simplicity of life. It was pre-internet. It was
the perfect age because it didn't have, like you said, it didn't have like the access the internet had or gave, and it wasn't focused on making people hate themselves. I feel like our age is the age of making people hate themselves or feel vindicated for being born. I don't know.
that you should have probably led with that first part first.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck everybody.
You know, it's funny. I used to somewhat poke fun at people for like living in nostalgia. I'm like, oh, you know, but goddamn, if I don't understand it now more than ever.
Like I mean, here's the thing. More than ever, like new age shit fucking sucks. You know it sucks when everybody that like Gina's talking about her kid. Her kid's 18 years old and all he does is listen to classics. That's how you know music is actually fucking shit now. And now, like, I mean, in the past, yes, I've watched movies from the 60s, 50s, and stuff like that. The difference is I actually feel like the movies made then are much more like plays than they are.
They're more story driven than they are cinematic.
But they're very like theatrical,
yes.
right?
Yes.
It's a play captured on something you can see multiple times. Where the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s are just like, fuck
They
it,
actually
man.
became a separate world.
Yeah, there's like originality, especially when it comes to like sci-fi and things like that. Like, I mean, I love 80s and 90s sci-fi. Yes, it's big blocks with flashing lights that are computers, but it just works so well. Now sci-fi is actually dumb, which is weird.
Well,
Most
It depends on
sci-fi is
sci-fi that you
most
find.
sci-fi is dumb as shit nowadays, man.
most I will say most is for sure, but I mean, I don't know if it's just me or I don't know. Like entertainment wise, yeah, I feel like you always look at yourself with your rose-colored glasses.
I look at Marvel and it's not sci-fi because it's magic. It literally isn't like anything. Like all the fucking suits and all the fucking gadgets they make, it just turns into magic after a while. You didn't think to raise this and isolate the isotope?
I'm very drunk, so apologize if I'm like slurring my words like fucking crazy right now.
Basically, you can't really say that because with Harry Potter, that's all magic, and that's considered sci-fi fantasy.
That is 100% fantasy. That is not sci-fi at all to me.
Well, that's what they consider. I agree with you. What she's saying is that's what they consider.
That's what Hollywood is classified.
Harry Potter takes place in what age? Presumably the age it was released in. Yet nobody has a fucking cell phone.
Which, yeah, actually, when was the first movie made? For Harry Potter?
there's one point in time where
99, I think?
Dudley is dressed
No,
like
no,
a
no,
fucking.
no. I think it was 01.
Dudley is dressed like an Eminem wannabe, so I know they're following our age timeline.
I think the first Harry Potter. Are you talking about the movie or the book?
The movies are following our age timeline.
Okay, that's why it wasn't on that list.
Yep. Yeah.
They're following our age timeline, yet the wizards are like, they refuse to use Muggle technology.
Well, actually, no. The timeline that they're following in that movie is actually more than 90s.
It's like there's a point in time in Harry Potter where they go to the Ministry of Magic, and it's like, instead of sending an electronic email, it's like flying.
Well, it's because their world has to remain hidden from the Muggles. And an email can be traced.
So can a flying fucking car.
Not with the invisibility cloak on.
Yeah, didn't have it for some of it. So can a fucking train that in a place that planes would fly over. Or kids disappearing in the middle of a fucking platform. There's a lot of... it's best not to think about.
Is that a technical term? A lot of...
Best not to think about. Yeah, no, I wouldn't classify Harry Potter as sci-fi at all. It's definitely fantasy, 100% fantasy.
Well, yeah.
Sci-fi is usually like Star Trek, Star Wars, Alien, things that are
But if
futuristic.
Harry
but
Potter took
alien.
place in the 90s, I mean, that shit would be fucking dominating everything.
Yeah.
Dominating.
Not that it didn't dominate when it came out, but like, I mean, Jesus Christ.
I mean,
So-
Sharknado is not sci-fi. That's just dumb shit, Alfie.
That's real life, man. Sharknado, fucking.
Yeah.
That's now consider. I agreed.
I mean, new sci-fi is things like Prometheus, where a gigantic rolling cock ring is going to crush you, so you run under it instead of sideways because you're dumb as fuck, yet you can invent space travel and master the movement of a ship in space, but you can't understand that running forward when something's about to crush you is the worst fucking idea in the world. Yes, that's new age sci-fi.
I agree with you. I do.
But you've realized that is a trope they use in every fucking
It is.
movie that has that situation.
It's like we are the smartest people the planet has
my
decided
God.
to send into space. Run to the left. What is left?
So pitch me this idea. There's a cock ring. Now hear me out.
It's crushing you. Could I run to the left or right? No. Aren't I supposed to be very genius level because I got here and we originated
It's a
on
pitch
Earth?
meeting. It's an episode of pitch meeting.
Oh my god.
Hey, shut up. So anyway, this cock ring comes through.
Hey, shut up and you die. So stupid. Hey, so you
Oh
land
my
on this
God.
alien planet you know nothing about, but the air is breathable. So the first thing you do is you take off your helmet. Just me? No, everybody.
Wouldn't you?
Everybody takes off their helmets because nothing could be dangerous there as long as the air is breathable. Aren't we space people? It's like, just hear me out. Just hear me out. Eventually a cock ring will kill you.
Just shut up. Anyway, the cock ring will come by.
Oh my god, it's like we're writing a story about people that are smart enough to go to space but dumb enough to fucking drink with a straw through their assholes. Fucking brain dead garbage. Like I can't.
What's the straw attached to? I don't know. Fuck it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
What is going on?
It-
What's going off on the fucking?
Again,
Sci-fi.
Ron, I'm sorry.
Today's sci-fi is the stupidest fucking thing in the world. Is what I'm saying. It's
So
like
on that note, I think this is kind of I think we've reached the apex of this episode. With
Just
drinking
wait.
straws out of the asshole.
wait for my sci-fi movie. It's coming out soon. It's called Retards in Space.
I can't wait to read that book.
It's just scribblings of dicks. It's about to be made into a feature film by Sony Entertainment.
It's basically a stream of drawful. Okay. Anyway, anything else we want to add before we wrap up episode 32 here?
Basement to keep going.
Seriously, he fucking can.
Dull. Fuck sci-fi. It's
No,
so
the
bad.
the FCC will have a fit. Basement, anything you want to add before we?
Don't watch movies and TV shows that were made past 1999 because you'll probably go brain dead. Also, if a giant cock ring is going to crush you, maybe don't continue to run forward because you're not faster than it.
I'm just trying to think of the practical. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate the love and support as always. Make sure you subscribe here to the Horny Goat YouTube channel, youtube.com/hornygoat, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform, where you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm trying really fucking hard to keep it together while I'm fucking absolutely obliteratedly drunk. Jurgen, the next Horny Goat Wrestling, we got to do that soon. We got to kind of come together and figure out the best way. Asking me right now is not the best.
It's happening in the next
week-ish.
It's coming.
It's coming.
What's coming?
Horny Goat Wrestling.
Oh,
But I think since Connor is at the stage of
I
one eye closed,
I am on fucking Pluto, which isn't even a planet.
Speak for yourself.
Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys in the near future, if not tomorrow, because God knows I'm going to need a day to recover. Monday for Marvel Roundtable covering Loki season 1. And I'm almost rubbing my knees in a sexual manner, but that's beside the point because I'm actually really fucking drunk.
I
we
still
will
have
see
to
you guys.
watch all of Loki.
God damn it! You have fucking.
I
a day
had
and a
2
half.
weeks and I was like, yeah, fuck it. It'll come to me.
Now you got 1 day.
Whatever,
I mean,
man.
six episodes isn't that bad. But anyway, Heather, JP, Basement, any last minute words of wisdom?
I mean,
Go watch Prometheus 1 and 2 and then fucking kill yourself. Those are my words of wisdom. Fucking the movie was ass.
Put that on a.
Mention about a fucking sci-fi show.
I didn't hear a word JP just said. Heather, any words of wisdom? No?
you didn't hear that shit?
No, I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear me belch?
Oh no, it's silent but deadly.
No. Fuck.
No, we're out of here, guys. Do yourself a favor and
I was just gonna say I have nothing to add to that. She said everything for me.
watch Prometheus. Good night, guys.
Or don't. It's fine.
No, watch it. You'll love it. Everybody loves it.
Nah, it's all right.
I mean, the best parts are
it's
the
total
parts
shit.
you're not gonna
It's
watch.
total shit. It's total shit.
It's great. It's fucking great. Shut the fuck up.
I've watched it.